Crikey! Hello, all you gummy goos, and welcome back to the BLT podcast. I am Nicoy, and I'm joined by the original Agent of Chaos.
Bulgaria 2004, and oh my god, your Australian accent is making me, it's making me bury my face into my hands.
I've been to Australia once, and I'll do it again, offending even more Australian accents. Well, last time we covered week 3 and predicted there, as well as giving our recap for week 2. Today is week 3. Now, this BLT has some sort of theme going on for these last couple of weeks. First was unlucky games, and then it was upsets. What's the theme of this week?
That's up to you. I don't know what it is.
I'm just gonna say shitty matchups and, a lot of unexpected winners actually performing decently. I don't know.
That's a pretty vague theme, or no, it's actually way too specific.
Nah, shitty matchups. We'll go with shitty matchups. A lot of short ones as well. Alright, so let's move on and talk about the games. Not breakneck speed, will actually be a lot more detailed. And once again, just a reminder that these are all very, very opinion. You could make the arguments. You could give us criticisms if you want, but just not, personal or life-threatening or anything like that, because that's too far. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
First off, we got the Phantom Trout beating the Flame Slinger Skeleturges, proving that the Phantom Trout is the top-ranked team in the pool currently. Going 3 wins, 0 ties, 0 losses, which is very impressive. So, and 7 people won against the Flame Slingers 3. Let's move on. First off, SVOU, we got Botsy defeating JJ, ending JJ's undefeated streak.
That was a game of all time.
It was. You're gonna say that a lot, Pokeyard. I can already tell.
Yes, I am.
Because these are all games of all time. This is just one of those. One of those unfortunate games just so happens to have unfortunate moments in it. And, leading to the eventual win. It's a short game that saw Botsy's Iron Shreds beat out Heatran and Darkrai after Focus Blast misses before losing to it. Darkrai, as you mentioned, on turn... whatchamacallit? Let's see here. There it is. Okay, yeah. Turn 5, the Darkrai missed a Focus Blast.
Didn't it miss 2 Focus Blasts?
It missed 2 of them in the next turn, turn 6. Turn 6, it missed another Focus Blast, which definitely would have killed twice, giving Darkrai a severe advantage early on, as Iron Shreds would have been dead long gone.
And Rocks would not be up.
Rocks would not have been up. Pelipper was used to set up rain on Botsy's side, which allowed Barraskewda to clean JJ's team, even Terra Ghosting to prevent D-Knight's E-Speed attempts, liquidationing the rest to win.
Oh, wait, no, it's not that Rocks wouldn't have... Wait. Yeah, Rocks would not be up, and, yeah, okay, I was just checking. But not only would Rocks not be up, the Rocks wouldn't have been rapid spinned away either on Botsy's side.
Right. That would have given JJ a good advantage, I would say, because he's especially weak to Tornadus and Pelipper, especially weak to it, and Barraskewda would have been minorly chipped, but it all doesn't matter, because Barraskewda ended up cleaning anyway, and turn 15 saw the Terra Ghost into Dragonite's extreme speed, which allowed for the liquidation to hit and continuously, chip away.
Yeah, this matchup was kind of bad for JJ. And the misses really hurt too.
Yeah, the misses hurt, and everything else was kind of like, man, just it didn't go JJ's way. And Botsy took advantage of that and took the win. Next up, we got 3D versus Avidus. And 3D actually won. Goddamn.
Yeah, I told you.
Goddamn. I should have went with my gut and went for the traditionalist, but, you know, it's easy to be unimpressed than impressed, I guess. 3D had the advantage early on, I'll give him credit. Using Ogerpon to Oko Sinistra with the knockoff attempt. Very nicely done. Swords Dance boosted as well. Zamazenta's...
Yeah, which is interesting, because I don't know, how many Wellspring Ogrepons actually run that?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, but they do sometimes run it, which, you know, but it's not a common moveset on Ogrepons, because they usually run
Ogrepon is such a good mon, man. It gets so much nice coverage.
It could be an early contender for Pokemon of the Year in our little award show, which will be happening at the end of this. Zamazenta struggled despite boosting the Iron Defense and Body Press, with Lando having the Rocky Helmet and Glamora being Toxic Debris, which kind of chipped it a little bit, netting Avarice with more and more disadvantage because of the low health, and then the hazard stack put upon against Zamazenta, which was really unfortunate. Iron Crown, though, MVP of this game, catching the T-Tar with the Focus Blast onto Tachyon Cutter to kill it, and then Terra Fighting to withstand Excadrill's Earthquake attempts to kill it with Focus Blast. Which is a good turn, as you see here. And then, of course, 3D Zamazenta ended up cleaning the rest, beating Avarice's own Zamazenta and King Gambit to win the game.
Yep. I mean, by the time Avarice was just at the point of spamming rest, I feel like he probably could have just forfeited by that point. He was not winning.
He ain't winning, especially when 3D has Ogrepon left. He has a Roaring Moon, which he only terrored once, but it's against an Iron Crown, which, you know, is pretty destructive, especially under sand offense. Yeah, good win for 3D. Very impressed. Next up, as Poker dropped something, 7U992 versus Sky U. And 7U992 won.
Yes, it was an insanely close game.
Very close, and I was very impressed with the way both of these players played. It's a good game. Sky's Arc Ground was a destructive threat early on, setting up the Dragon Dances, outspeeding Koraidon's Scale Shot attempt to kill it, and Terra Ghosted to be immune to 7U's Arceus Extreme Speed attempts to Oko it with Earthquake, only to be Whirlwinded by Tinglu the next turn. As you can see here, there's the Oko to Koraidon, which, you know, beneficial to Arc Ground, as Koraidon is a looming threat. It could be a good threat against, you know, the Miraidon and the King Gambit and even his own Koraidon, but Skyu trusted in his Arc Ground and was able to kill it there then. And then, of course, there's the E-Speed attempt to the Arceus, which benefited Skyu immensely. After that, it was Whirlwinded. 7U992's Miraidon won the speed tie against Sky's own Miraidon, Okoing it with Draco Meteor at turn 13, giving himself a slight advantage, although not by much.
No, I'd say that's a pretty big advantage because it evened the score.
It did even it, but, you know, sometimes the Draco Meteor, it really just depends on, you know, the speed tie and whatever Miraidon does. Miraidon does the Miraidon things, and the Draco Meteor has definitely helped 7U992 there. And then, you know, Sky's Koraidon then beat Miraidon with the crit low kick, and even Oko...
That did not matter.
That may have not mattered, yes, but, Hey.
Nico, it does like 70 minimum, I think.
Because it's the Koraidon. It's the Koraidon with the scale shot Koraidon set, which, yeah, I would say so. Koraidon is pretty frail.
Miko, I think you forget how much Miraidon weighs. Low kick is doing 120.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. Makes sense.
Yeah, both Koraidon and Miraidon are heavy.
They make sense. They're both motorcycles. And, yeah. Even Okoing on the Zacian switch in right around here at turn 20. It's a very good turn for Sky. But then he lost, of course, to the Terra Fairy Ho-Oh at the end, being immune to Scale Shot, who then Brave Bird to win the game.
Yeah, like, it was very up in the air for the last few turns who would win, because they just needed to get all the plays right in order to win.
And 7U992 took advantage of that, preserving that Terra Fairy at the end for the win, which was very nice.
Although, what I don't really get, and maybe it has to do with 7U992 Zacian, couldn't he have just Terra Fairied Ho-Oh right away? Instead of having it switch it out, Zacian dies, and then coming back into Terra Fairy?
Maybe it has to do with something. Yeah, maybe it's calling the switch. I don't know. Maybe it was calling something like a scale shot.
Cause the Zacian hadn't come out yet, so I mean, and let's see, he already terrored. So yeah, he didn't actually need to sack Zacian there. He could have just straight up gone Terra Fairy. It would not have mattered if it just died to Flare Blitz, because Skyu needed a scale shot to win in that position.
Yeah,
he does not outspeed Zacian.
And, having the Terra Fairy Ho-Oh and Zacian gives you no chances for doing a scale shot, but hey.
Yeah, so if he just straight up Terra Fairies the Ho-Oh, even if it's so very low, well, that's fine, because it prevents him from going for a scale shot, and then Zacian comes in and kills it.
Yeah, 7U992 still had the win at the end with the Terra Fairy Ho-Oh, because he revealed that. That gave him basically enough to, have the advantage and win.
In fact, I dare say that what 7U992 is honestly riskier than what I just said, because what if Skyu called the Terra, it was game over.
Right. If he
very well could have called it.
Yeah, he very well could have terrored himself and used, Flare Blitz or no, not
no, he terrored already.
He could have called the Terra. Could have gotten the win. Could have gotten the win that way.
Yeah, if he called the Terra, 7U992 lost. I think it was safer to just straight up go Terra Fairy even when it was low, just to prevent it from scale shotting, and then sending in Zacian to clean it. Because it wouldn't have outsped. He couldn't scale shot.
So overall, a pretty good game. Went down to the wire, but didn't really need to in hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, Drew versus Roche, and I am so sad that I got this one wrong again. I am just not lucky when it comes to predicting with you, man.
You've been lucky for the first 2 weeks regarding this, Miko. I get over it.
I'm getting over it with Bennett Foddy. At least I have that. I got a leg up, but then the momentum was killed. Just like this game. Because this one was... we watched this one live, and this was a pretty slow game. Both the players really wanted to work with the timer on this one. Tornadoes was an early asset for Drew, especially at turn 13, beating Arcanine Hisui with Focus Blast, and then neutering Slowking heavily by knocking off its heavy-duty boots, and then U-turning to put it at red, giving himself a kind of a good advantage, kind of a good advantage to start feeling out the process and really risking Roche of, you know, risking the loss of the heavy duty boots and then risking it into the U-turn, which was which he played ultimately to his detriment. Tinkaton walled Komo'o, using Encore to lock it into Drain Punch and then Terra Ghosting to make it immune to it, only losing to Excadrill's Rock Slide early on. That was a neat little turn.
Yes, but it also served as a spin blocker once it Terra Ghosted.
It was. Terra Ghost is just broken.
No, it's just good utility usually.
Yeah, it's broken as a utility against rapid spinners.
That's not what broken is.
Just kidding. Quaquaval managed to hit only one triple axle against Hydrapple, which did more damage to itself due to the Rocky helmet and the life orb, and got Fickle Beam to death, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, that definitely made the game a little closer than it would have been otherwise.
Right, that particular turn 36, was it hurt Drew more than it hurt Ricochet, to be honest. Because he got to switch out. Low kicks at the end was the revenge killer, and U-turns and first impressions were plenty in this game. Claiming kills left and right. Ricochet's team was basically left to Hydrapple at the end, which who tried to recover stall but failed.
Yes, and ironically, it was something that Hydrapple did that was unlucky for Ricochet.
Which was?
Come on, I think you know.
Beating the Slow King or not tearing? I don't know.
What?
You explain it then. You explain to the laymans out there, including me.
Well, you see, he was going to recover up probably next turn, but you see when Rhyperior came out, let's see,
Turn
what was
40.
the exact sequence?
Turn 42, around that.
Okay, Slow King faints. Hydrapple comes in. It recovers. Low kicks, does some stuff. Okay. Wait, what? Did I miss the turn? I think I did. Okay, so low kicks, U-turns out, Rhyperior comes in, Hydrapple uses Fickle Beam, it goes all out onto the Rhyperior, killing it, which I'm sure is not what Ricochet actually wanted to happen.
He got played hard.
Yeah, I'm sure he wished that Rhyperior lived so he could then, either recover or go for a Giga Drain. So it would have enough health to survive a first impression and revenge kill low kicks, but because it went all out, killing Rhyperior when it was still at only around 55% health, that's in first impression range.
Yeah.
So he lost.
In the end, Rhyperior's him killing the Rhyperior ultimately proved to be his downfall at the end.
And it was only a 30% chance of what happened happening, because that's the odds Fickle Beam has to go all out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the one time you don't actually want Fickle Beam to do that.
He got the chances, and Ricochet lost even more than he did. The low kicks. Alright, next up, we got Franco versus Feliburn. Franco winning, which is to be expected. I don't think anyone predicted against Franco. If they did, that would be a shame.
Oh, some people did.
Some people trusted Feliburn too much, which ultimately was a downfall. This was a long game. This involved a lot of skull burns and a lot of Cyclozar switching, as both players really abused Cyclozar a lot and got the skull burns from Slowbro quite a lot as well. You know. Terra Steel Hippowdon was used to tank multiple Dragon Energies from Regidrago and heal off with Slack Off in the process for better longevity, which was nice. Then
oh yeah, that Terra Steel Hippowdon really carried carried Franco in that game.
Yeah, it was that bulky. It was very defense oriented, and it was just preserved better, I'd say. After a couple of monotonous turns later, Franco started having the edge, burning Jirachi with the flame body with Moltres, using Brave Bird for leverage, and removing lots of items from Feli's side of the playing field with a lot of knockoff plays. And then, towards the end, Feli relied heavily on his Slowbro's tankiness and regen capabilities as Franco whittled away, chipping it when playing with regen on his own against Slikozar and Slowbro. Towards the end, though, Franco kind of lost a 50-50 on turn 75. He was this was the turn where he had to go for Shadow Ball on his Zoroark Hisui against presumably calling the Cyclozar switch in. But he went for Focus Blast, and Slowbro was out, so it did not do the Shadow Ball, it just did the Focus Blast. Kind of an initial scare there, but Franco was leading, which I wasn't worried about. He made up for it in turn 81, where he caught the Jirachi switch in to Earthquake it, and then successfully Zoroark managing to hit Shadow Ball the next in order to kill Slowbro at turn 85, winning Franco that game.
Yep. I tell you, that Slowbro on Feli's side was the only thing keeping Franco from winning for all those turns.
It was preserved well. Feli just relied on that Slowbro hard, especially in the late game when there's really no Mons left on his team to tank because most of them were pretty neutered, and Cyclozar as well. So yeah, Franco just had more leverage by then, and Zoroark Hisui was kept well in the back, and he just had more Mons. If it died, it has a lot of Mons that could take over, like his own Cyclozar or Thunderous. So yeah, good win for Franco. Next up, Stories versus Afterticks. Okay, alright, you'll like this game because it features Sun.
I do like this game.
It features Sun. Sun was very prevalent. And this was a very big Sun team. It's a big boy Sun team. Look at it. Look at the stacked team on Story side. You got Ninetales, Scovillain, Venusaur, Lilligant, Flygon, and Palmot. Good. Venusaur was sent out early for growth damage. Beating Milotic and Magnezone, and then after sending Ninetales out again to Drought later, Scovillain. My God, this man was a beast. He beat the Terra Dragon.
Excuse me, you gendered the Scovillain wrong. It's female.
Beastess. Beastie? I don't know. Yeah, the freaking Scovillain freaking Terra-Fired and then Fire Blasted the hell out of Talonflame. Fire Blasted the hell out of the Terra Dragon Sarina, which took only one Fire Blast at full health, and then never again, and then Gallade was dead, and then boom.
Yeah, the damage from that thing was insane.
It might have been Specs as well. Specs.
Yes, it was. There's no way it wasn't Specs. It literally one-shot a near full health Talonflame.
Right, it was Specs.
With Fire Blast.
It was Specs. It was Terra Fire. It was Sun. It was Fire Blast.
And then it proceeded to nearly do the same thing to a Terra Dragon Sarina.
And that that proves that Scovillain is kind of a big threat. Especially when you're running Sun. Watch out. Next up, Blood Ace versus Lost Memories in PU, which was the last game played. This was played about 4 hours before the deadline.
Yes, it was.
And I was pretty salty that it had to be played that late, but that's fine. It's fine by me. They scheduled that for that date. Lost Memories started off hot in this game. Screamtail was beating Lycanroc, and Scyther got to crit kill the Terra Ghost Decidueye with dual Wing Beat.
Yeah, but I kind of wonder how much it did.
Normally?
Yeah, because it did 57 with a crit, and then did 43.
I think it would done 43 twice. I think the Decidueye would still live, but it would have been low. Like red health. Problems arose.
Well, let me see if I can calculate about how much it does normally. So 57. It around 45 normally.
Yeah, I told you.
So that's why the crit does around 60.
Yeah, I told you it would have still lived, but it would have been really low. The chances of it living would have been moderate. It being one-shotted would also have been moderate.
Yeah, I think I would think it'd probably be like on about 10% or so.
Yeah, I would say so. 10 seems like a good range. Problems arose though with dealing with Blood Ace's Snarl Toxtricity, which Screamtail did try to lock with Encore to do certain moves like a Wish and then a Play Rough to cause damage, maybe even Protect to stall out its Snarls a lot. However, big joke happened on turn 22 by going for Poltergeist on his Golurk instead of going for Earthquake. You know, look at this. Like, he's Boom Burst. Like friggin' Toxtricity was locked into Boom Burst, yeah? Which, would have killed Screamtail, but Golurk was immune to it. So he Lost Memories literally had a perfect kill. A perfect opportunity to do a free kill. However, he went for Poltergeist.
Yeah, it struck me as a bit odd because okay, I guess Poltergeist does more than Earthquake does at neutral damage, but I don't know. In case he's sacking, well, I think Earthquake is just safer.
Yes, it's safer, and Poltergeist. And if you were going to okay, maybe he's gonna predict a switch and maybe to like a Kingdra or even a friggin' Tauros in order to kill it, but still.
Tauros just died to either Earthquake or Poltergeist.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Still, Earthquake is the safer play. It's just the safer move in general. This would have gotten a free kill and would have chipped heavily if he was going to be switching into Kingdra or Tauros. So yeah.
Look, I almost can't blame Lost Memories for going for it, even though it seemed weird at the time, because I'm gonna guess there's no way they thought Blood Ace would actually sack Toxtricity.
I wonder if he was actually going to sack the Toxtricity. He stayed in, which struck me as a bit okay. In the moment, I was like, okay, why is he staying in? Boom Burst is locked. Maybe he's running out the Encore turns, maybe. But yeah, just struck me as really weird. Man, Toxtricity ended up sweeping the rest. Even Blood Ace that win.
Yeah, it's hard to really say who misplayed here.
Blood Ace for staying in with Toxtricity, or Lost Memories, not taking advantage of gun for that free kill. But yeah.
Like, I can understand reasons behind both.
But yeah, overall, it was just kind of an game. Left a sour taste in my mouth. But Blood Ace got the win, which was important. Especially for the Dirges, who lost by that point. But still. Anyway, next up, we got Stars of Ma versus Tempo. Alright, this game was kind of a dominant display for Stars of Ma, which I'm very happy for. Because Mudbray proved useful for Ama early on, setting up the rocks and using stamina to tank Lullaby's Brave Birds very well. Even shipping Mean Food to an extent before dying to Lullaby, who was taken out by it. So, just to show you what I mean, like Mudbray was seriously doing the stamina work. Chip Mean Food with an Earthquake, and then Lullaby. Got the heavy slamming on Lullaby, and then got killed in return. They put in some work, which is nice. And then Ama just dominated by that point, using Mean Food to keep to beat the Glamet despite the toxic debris, which were mitigated by Fungus later. But then Fungus spored Stunky to stop it from being a late game threat. And then Terrifier Voltorb just cleaned the rest of the endgame. I'd say this is a good display. I'd say this is a good display by Stars of Ma, really showing that they are one of, if not the best LC players in this pool. Very good showing here. Tempo struggling a little bit, but hey, LC is kind of a hard pool to win here. You say that, PokeArt, but then you realize, oh yeah, he's yet to fight Elfuzon and Hacker.
Oh, you mean Tempo.
Tempo, yes. Starzamon, no problem at all. I think he's fit into the LC pool quite well. And this game shows that he can do that.
I think this game shows that whoever preserves their Terra better often wins.
Terra do be broken in LC, and Voltorb was a big abuser of it. Next up, Aragon versus Exotic, and yeah, Aragon lost again.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
No one saw that coming, which is kind of a shame, really, because Aragon really showed himself last year, and then this year, just a couple of bad weeks. Couple of bad weeks for him. Spore became a focal move at certain points in this game. Mew transforming into a Mungus to be immune to the spores was very nice, giving Exotic a good, nice advantage against Aragon's Amoonguss. Terragrass.
Hey, he also wanted to personally spore him.
Yeah, but, it counteracted with that, so good. Terragrass Gouging Fire not only benefited from being spored, but also led to Ting Lu whirlwinding it after a couple of dragon dances.
What do you mean it benefited from being spored? It just didn't do anything.
Not being spored, I mean. Because it terragrassed. Wording. Alright. Next, then we have, the strat that that kind of surprised me. Mew coaching helping out Gouging Fire, and this one definitely did benefit him in the long run. Him Terraferrying to consistently heat crash Aragon's mods while also dodging stone edges from the opposing Gouging Fire. Exotic was just given a very decisive victory by that point.
Yeah, and wasn't there another miss at one point? Oh yeah, Mew avoided Draco Meteor.
Yeah, that was kind of an unfortunate turn. But hey, Exotic had the win by that point, and Aragon was just It was just
That was
struggling.
that was only turn 3, Mikoi. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
excuse me. I didn't pay attention to that miss because that seemed inconsequential at that time, and I was only really focusing on the gouging fireplace.
Yeah, but you can't just state that he had already won by that point. That was turn
No.
3.
No, of course not. I was just really focusing on the gouging fires, which exotic played better and ultimately won. That's all I need. That's what really all it boils down to. Next up, Monotype. We got Royal Reloaded versus Twinkie. I predicted freaking Twinkie to win, thinking that he might be better than Royal. But no! No! And no! Royal just had to show off with the Dragon versus Dragon matchup. Early.
You know, I usually don't predict in favor of Royal Reloaded for most matchups, but here I did.
And yet you got it right, which pains me. Early on, Archaludon took 2 Draco Meteors to kill Gouging Fire, who couldn't kill it with a +2 boosted crit Earthquake.
Yeah, that's,
Archaludon
wow.
be tanky, bro.
A little too tanky. I don't like it.
Archaludon is very tanky. Underrated, like, Mon in general.
It is not underrated.
What
Frick
do
you.
What do you mean? You're just
It
salty.
literally got banned from OU pretty quickly. And it's getting suspect tested in doubles.
I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even pay attention to that. Oh, forget. Underrated Mon in Monotype and Ubers.
Okay, I'll take the Ubers thing, but not so much Monotype. It's on it like every Dragon team.
But because it's good. Because it's reliable, it's good, it's healthy and good.
And not underrated.
Overrated, to be honest. Anyway, Latias.
No, it's perfectly rated.
Latias was the MVP in this game, Okoing Hydreigon early on with the Draco, cleaning the rest of Twinkie's Red Health Mons at the end, but yeah, this was just really preserved. There was also a body press critical hit from Twinkie onto Archaludon, onto the Gudra at turn 12, but other than that, Raging Bolt didn't kill Kyurem at 7%, which was interesting. And then, yeah, just the Latias just kind of destroyed.
Yep, because everything was basically on single-digit health by that point, and slower.
Yep, and yeah. Dragon versus Dragon matchup. Just bring an Ice Beam, Latias, and then Archaludon. You'll win. Alright. Next.
In general, I think Royal Reloaded had a slightly better matchup because he had he had 2 Dragon Steel types instead of 1.
One died to a crit.
Even though one of those didn't actually do anything.
One died to a crit. Oko crit at that.
Yes.
Alright, speaking of what the hell, next up is the Resort City Rufflets tying the Shiny-Sora Snorlaxes. Tying, woman. Not beating, tying. Let's review this first game.
You don't have to rub it in.
Let's see this first game, shall we? Oh, wait.
Maverick. I don't want to see this first game.
Oh, wait. It's SVOU. It's Maverick Shooters versus Ferenia. Contender for probably the worst game I've ever seen in my years of watching BLT games.
I don't know if it's on that level, but it is pretty bad.
It's bad. It's very bad. So, again, this was just undead unluck for poor Maverick. As he,
you see the Garganical is undead and Maverick is unluck.
They go together, man. They negate each other very well. So yeah, this was just an unfortunate game. The first 20 turns didn't matter. Like, they don't matter at all. What mattered is the freaking Slow King getting paralyzed for 5 turns in a row, starting at turn 24. And
in a couple of those turns, it clicked Focus Blast when that Garganical was coming in.
Yeah, it would have been, well, yeah, I think, what? wait. Turn 23, it was what? Could I have clicked Focus Blast at this point, turn 24, when it was recovering?
Maverick literally said in chat when the Garganical came in, I clicked Focus Blast, I want to kill myself.
Oh, and yeah, he basically one last kiss had a perfect out to recover and get some health back on the Garganical, and yeah, the friggin' Slowbro couldn't do anything. Because of its paralyzed. Latios also missed a Draco Meteor on turn 32.
A Draco Meteor that apparently would have killed.
Kill Garganical, not just merely Chip. Huh. Alright.
Yeah, because that was Soul Dude Draco Meteor.
Soul Dude Draco Meteor. Yeah, that's what would have killed. Yeah, that would have killed heavily. And then, then of course he lost Weavile to an Oko crit from Salt Cure at turn 36. Hazard Stack just proved to be too much by the end, and yeah, Ferenia won. But not in the way that I want Ferenia to win. I want Ferenia to win at his own pace, not through this. What is this?
I'm pretty sure we just kind of outright won the game if we managed to kill Garganical, which God himself said no and literally came down just to protect that Garganical from dying to literally anything.
This is why, Pokeyard, you should play Minecraft and Donkey Kong. Garganical is the epitome of being a godsend for Ferenia.
And I'm not religious, by the way.
Yeah, it's a godsend.
That was just cruel.
Ferenia had the power of luck, and luck he did happen.
That's very nice grammar, Mikoi.
Next up, VK versus Mimikyu Stardust. Okay.
Oh, great. Another bad OU game.
Bad as in your player lost, or bad as in bad in general?
Well, bit of both.
We'll see. Mimikyu did get lucky though. He did get lucky on his iron shreds, dodging VK's focus blast to rapid spin to gain speed and killing it. Like that's the freaking second time that has happened.
Yes. Oh, and on top of that, the chat was confused as to why he even went for focus blast.
Really?
Because apparently it was in dark pulse range.
Yeah, why did he? The fifth. It was what, 62? Yeah, that definitely should have been in Dark Pulse range.
No, it was more like 52.
That's a Dark Pulse range kill, man.
It took almost half from a Golden Go with no special attack investment. Of course, Dark Pulse was killing that thing.
And, despite being intimidated by Lando, crit killed Garganical with Earthquake at turn 6. Ice Spinnering Rillaboom later before dying to it. Kyurem stood out for Mimikyu Stardust, being Dragon Dance, Icicle Spear, and Earth Power, killing Rillaboom before losing to Terra Fairy Goldengo's Dazzling Gleam with no special attack investment.
Well, it's a Golden Go. It hits hard.
Too hard. Gouging Fire and Terrifying Roaring Moon would end up cleaning the rest of the endgame, winning Mimikyu in this very short but very eventful game.
It's unfortunate, because if Golden Go had a chance to set up a nasty plot, I think we just kind of straight up won, no?
He would have a chance, yeah. Especially since VK was going for the Terra Fairy and Dazzling Gleam, guaranteeing himself like a kill on the friggin' Kyurem and the Roaring Moon and the Gouging Fire and all that.
Well, I don't know about the gouging fire, but it would have done quite a bit, and plus it had the defense boost.
Right. Gouging fire would have done flare blitz, but Golden would have tanked that, and then boom, it would have taken 2, but it was still 1.
The team was confused as to why he went for Focus Blast. He explained why, but we were all under the same consensus that Dark Pulse was still much safer. Apparently, VK thought he might switch into something like a Zamazenta or possibly even the Roaring Moon, which no,
I think it was.
Look, I can understand if you think he might switch to Zamazenta. He would not switch into the Roaring Moon, though. No. That would be stupid.
No, that would have been a dumb play.
Darkeye freaking runs Ice Beam half the time, and Focus Blast another half the time. So, like, that'd be way too risky.
That would have been a dead Roaring Moon if that was the case.
Oh, and besides, the Darkrai outsped it anyways.
Right. Even with booster energy, which it didn't do.
It was booster attack.
A booster attack. Never mind. Alright, fair enough. Next up, Richard Milliplane versus Genius from Hoenn. Why are you torturing...
a good game.
Why are you torturing poor Richard Milliplane to playing more Ubers? You're cruel.
Because it's fun and he's getting us wins.
You're cruel. You're a cruel mistress, but then he wins. So.
I'm not a cruel mistress. I'm not the one doing this.
You are. Alright.
No, I'm not. I'm not in charge of anything.
Alright. Well, you are on the team, so you are partly to blame.
No, I'm not. I don't have any part in the lineups.
Alright. Hoenn started off well here in this game, catching Eternatus on the switch-in with Ice Beam and Tinglu tanking its Dragon Pulse to kill it with Earthquake, which was nice. A nice couple of turns for Hoenn to start off. Terra Grass Ho-Oh trying to be useful against Miraidon. However, it left it vulnerable to Richard's own Ho-Oh, because it was not Terra Grass. It was still It was still normal Fire Flying Ho-Oh, which, forcing the switch out and then just playing with a handicap by that point.
Yeah, I understand why he Terra Grassed at the time, but. Yeah. It did him, didn't really do him any good in the long run. It actually hindered him a lot.
Yeah, because, he could have preserved the friggin' Terra instead to a different, probably Koraidon or Arceus. So Terraing Ho-Oh was questionable in the long run. Richard started to come to his own in the second half, outmatching the Terra Fairy with Arc Ground. Terraferring his own OO to an Origin Pulse miss from Kyogre, and Koraidon just cleaned through the rest to win.
Yep. Also, I like how you said Hoenn started good, but we actually won a speed tie and got his Koraidon low immediately.
Where? I didn't even see that.
Turn 1.
Yeah, because it did do friggin', it did do. It's not a Scarf Koraidon, I assume, but yeah.
I think they're both Scarf Koraidon.
Oh, that's hilarious then. that was just hilarious. But Hoenn did perform better at that from then on, and then Richard performed better at that on. So yeah, it just balances out either way. So yeah. Good win for Richard. When are you going to make him stop playing Ubers?
When we can afford that.
Poor Richard. He's suffering right now. I see him in chat. He's suffering. Someone who is not suffering, though, is Piyush, who beat Mimi Lucha in a rather impressive game. One of the best games to have happened in this year's BLT. I highly recommend watching this game closely if you can, because this was a very, very good game.
Let's see, what was the final score? Despite this being 3-0 by the end, this was actually an absolute mugging.
It was, and it was not even unreal. It was just that good. Mimi toxic Piyush's tornadoes early on. However, this did not deter as Piyush kept it mostly preserved with enough health against Toxapex's Toxic Specs attempts, especially against the knockoff
Yeah,
players and the
it
default.
was kind of funny how Mimi Lucha kept using toxic spikes when it didn't affect a single thing on Piyush's team except Hippowdon.
Hippowdon? Wait, what? Oh yeah, Ogerpon must have been boots. But yeah, everything
Boots
else.
Ogerpon, Excitral is immune to poison, Tornadus is a flying type, Toxapex is a poison type, Latios is a levitate mon who then became a steel type.
Yeah, so yeah, Mimi Lucha should not have gone for too much toxic spikes. I think as had he known that, 4 out of 6 mons are very much immune to the toxic spikes, and the Ogerpon was just boots, so that should
5.
be a giver. 5 is a given, okay? 5 is a given. Ogerpon would have been boots. So yeah, Piyush had the game mostly well scouted, as he was able to counteract Mimi Lucha's stall-wise performance with some good predicts, good switch-ins, just overall good play. Notable turn came at turn 52 when Terra Steel Latios was able to knock out Terra Steel Toxapex, giving Piyush the significant edge for the remainder of the second half. And Ogerpon went ahead and killed Mimi's Minxiao and Zarud, winning Piyush the game.
Hey, it wasn't that cut and dry.
It was very cut and dry, but still, I am just heavily impressed with Piyush.
That was a scarf Minxiao, you know?
It was, but very good momentum. Piyush had the game won.
And I think you're failing to acknowledge how every time Mimi Lucha wanted to do something with Zarud, the Ogerpon came in for free.
Yeah, and just, it was just threatening Zarud for the U-turn switch out, so,
He was able to do this successfully every single time.
Which was, after a couple of turns of that, maybe it's time to, change it up a bit. Maybe switch into different mon, but okay, fair enough.
I don't think you need to if it's working every single time.
No, I was talking about Mimi Lucha, after switching in Zarud a lot and then having Ogerpon being sent out on the field, maybe it's time to maybe switch it out a bit. Yeah. Piyush, good win. Good win for Piyush. Highly recommend the game. Check it out. It's great.
Oh, you know what Piyush said before the game?
How do I learn this tier or something?
How does this tier work?
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to know something even better.
What?
I think it was while one of our other teammates was playing. I forget which game it was. I think maybe it was TGA's game. I think Mimi Lucha asked Piyush if he wanted to play around then, and Piyush said, "Don't have a team, hold on."
Yeah.
20 minutes later, he challenges him, "I have a team now."
Okay.
And then absolutely destroys him.
Let's how good Piyush is, man. Single tiers, they put Piyush in there, he'll win.
Bro does not know this tier at all.
And yet,
it's so funny.
He won against one of the best UU players we have. So good on ya. Good on ya, Piyush. Moving on to Lime versus Arcanine 1929. Well. This game was weird, but I like it. A lot of creative sets.
Yeah.
A lot of creative.
This game was very funny because when these two initially scheduled, Tanish asked if Arcanine wanted to play right now, and Arcanine said no because you'll beat my ass with your grassy terrain team.
Oh my god.
Look what happened!
He brought the grassy terrain team, and look at that.
Well, it's a different grassy terrain team, but it is a grassy terrain team.
With a Thwacky! A Thwacky in RU, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Well, you can't use Rillaboom.
No, of course not. Well, man, Thwacky. Good. And Chestnut, but more importantly, Thwacky. Anyway, this game, really funny. This one was a very, very, really funny team. Tanish brought a weakness policy Basculegion, which activated against Cyclozar's knockoff, in conjecture with agility, proceeded to tank Crawdon's Aquajet to kill it and Cyclozar later with Ice Beam.
Yeah, our team was just laughing because he sacked Crawdon.
He did sack Crawdon. He sent it out on a force switch in. I'm like, why?
Yeah, that was a little silly of him.
And just proceeded to Aqua Jet, and then boom, got killed to a surf after, and then Cyclozar died to an ice beam.
And yeah, then he just kind of sacked Cyclozar too, actually, because
he did.
Yeah, that just died, and then Pheasantipity comes in that doesn't die, so why not send in Pheasantipity after the Crawdon dies?
I see. I guess he wanted to.
I think someone didn't calc.
I guess someone didn't calc or just relied on his Cyclozar too much. Which no, you don't. Against a fast mon like Basculegion, no.
It's not fast, but it was boosted.
Still same thing. If it's clearly faster, don't risk it. Alright. The Terra Electric Mew then stood out in the second half, after the fact that, Thwacky got to do his Grassy Surge thing, and then Mew got to do the Grassy Terrain thing, Grassy Seed, Terra Electric, then then the set of the Nasty Plot Earth Power came into play with Psyshock, beating the Terra Fairy Jirachi with Psyshock, and then dodging mostly a Focus Blast from Thundurus to sweep the rest.
Not gonna lie, that Jirachi looked kind of scary for a bit there because, I think there was a speed tie between Jirachi and Mew won the second speed tie, which allowed it to stay alive.
Yeah, I'd say so. They were both 328 at that point and got... and the Mew just got lucky? But not lucky because, it was set up. It was set up really well. We would have
won anyway. Look at what we had so much in the back.
We had so much in the back, and then
you don't even know what that chestnut was.
What is that? Oh no, is that a broken ass chestnut?
It's a broken ass chestnut. I'm not gonna reveal what it is, but I can send you the set.
I'll send you. Do send me the set later, and I will see.
No, I'll send you this. I'll send you it now.
Holy shit, is that thing broken? Okay, let's move on.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's threatening. I wish I would like to see that, to be honest. Alright, next up, we got SVNU. We got Skier Dude beating Wadley. Skier Dude actually beat the champ. Why? How? Well, I'll tell you. This one was just a very, very unfortunate game for poor Wadley here. Scaredude just had a really good Hail team with Titan, Sandslash, and Abomasnow. But things started out first with the Noivern burning the Galvantula, getting the burn in with Flamethrower before the thunder hits and kills it. And then he caught the Typhlosion with the nasty Earth Power with the Abomasnow after setting up the Aurora Veil. And then, towards the end, you got the Titan coming in at turn 6, getting to Earthquake, the Typhlosion, and then getting to Belly Drum against the Min Shao, which tanked Min Shao CCs, and, won with Earthquake, and then Serena died to an Icicle Crash, and boom. Anything else to say about this game?
Not really, apart from the fact I don't think the burn really mattered on Galvantula. This would have died the next turn anyway.
Yeah, it just died faster. It's fine. Yeah, Wadley lost. Shocking, I know. Next up, TGA versus Druid, the aforementioned TGA Druid game. This one was good. This one was good for both players, and both players showing that they're particularly very well versed in PU, which I appreciate.
You say it's good. It's bad. Not for us, though.
For Druid it was, but for you, yeah, there was a crucial point that happened. I'll tell you about it. Let me talk to you about it. First off, evenly paced couple of first turns right here. Druid and TGA we're doing pretty well for themselves, and yeah, we're just actually like very, very smartly playing against each other, getting to set up hazards, and playing with their switch-ins a lot. Crucial strats happened around turn 19 because Scrafty was the present and did such a good job breaking Milotic's stall attempts to Shedskin activate. To activate its Shedskin and needing to Dragon Dance when necessary, mitigating the haze and recover attempts to do enough damage to kill it. It just smartly played against the Milotic. Despite, getting burned a lot. Now, let's talk about turn 38, shall we? Turn 38. We saw a crucial poison jab landing on the Tauros. It being critical, as TGA's win con, well, I assume it was his win con.
Yes, it was.
And it was neutered significantly, causing it to only beat Scrafty. It really got.
What do you mean only beat Scrafty?
I mean, it got the Slowbro. No, it beat Scrafty and Slowbro via the crit, Trailblaze, and beat the Salazzle. Okay, so it did some damage.
That's 3 kills.
Okay, but it did over half, but still, the poison negated it from doing any more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the poison was very detrimental at that point. Endgame saw Zoroark's Terra Dark attempts proving futile against Florges after killing it Kilowattrel. So after that, the Kilowattrel, after the physical Zoroark, might I add. So TGA learning from week 1, was it, when he got scared by the
I think that was week 2.
He got scared by the physical Terra Dark attempts, so he said, fuck it, I'll use one myself. But hey, he just got the Kilowattrel kill, but the Flora just came in and, tanked the knockoff in order to kill it with Moonblast, dodging the Hurricane with the Kilowattrel to win.
Yeah, I gotta say, Druid played very weirdly.
It wasn't the best display from Drew, I'll admit.
Bro kinda choked. Or something, I don't know. Why did he just let Salazzle die when he had a Protectmon in the back and Tauros was about to die?
I guess.
Why wouldn't you protect? Why would you just let the thing die?
I guess.
I guess maybe he didn't need it, but
yeah, that too.
Still.
It was a sack. It was a sack regardless, so,
I guess, maybe he didn't want Bronzong out because he maybe feared it would give Zoroark a free setup and give it a potential chance to reverse the game.
Yeah, I think that might have been the case, but still, that wasn't right.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird play.
Yeah, it's weird.
And as you can see, TGA clearly won this without the poison.
Yeah, it was set up nicely, just the poison kind of killed him.
And hell, the week would have been won without the poison too.
Rip. So we have something to blame, I guess.
Yes, we do.
Next up, we got Elfuzon losing to Hacker. So, this one was painful as well. And yeah, Hacker kind of played the stronger in this matchup. He got the better matchup here.
Well, yes, he got the better matchup.
He got the better matchup in here, and Delphuzon was having trouble a lot. He survived a crit high jump kick to preserve his Meanfo in the long run to eventually kill Mudbray. And then, Tink-a-Tink then Terra-Fairied and used Draining Kiss as an effective moon against Elfuse on Meanfu and setting up rocks in the process. Growlithe remained a constant presence in that game, getting kills on Vullaby and Meanfu at the right moments. And Marini Surf did enough damage to beat the Terra Steel Timber at the end. So, yeah.
Admittedly, Elfuzon probably could have played it a little more offensively, but, well, his matchup was bad. It's hard to really do that.
Yeah, his matchup was kind of ruined by the fact that, he despite the fact that yes, he could have been more aggressive with his plays, but it was just hard to come about that. And Hacker just played it a little bit more to his strengths than Elfuzon did to his, so this led to a pretty dominant win for Hacker at the end. So, next up, Loudwinner versus Cheese. Well, this ended quickly.
Yes, it did.
The hell happened here?
Cheese didn't know what to do, I guess?
All I had for notes was, Loudwinner dominated Cheese in this pretty short game. Immediately OHKOing the Iron Crown with the Chien Pao. Sunny Day, Ogerpon, piloting the rest. Critting Terra Water Iron Hands at one point with Ivy Cudgel. Not a kill crit, but it was just a minor crit, but it was just interesting that it was pointed out in Sun, which did 45. Beating it later, though, with the Horleech. And then, Glamora ended up killing Tornadus with Meteor Beam. And then he just lost based on activity.
Yeah.
So what happened, Cheese?
I don't know. He just kind of timed out. I guess he thought too hard, lost track of time.
Rip. What happened? It would have been kind of an unwinnable game for Cheese at that point, because Loudwinner just had a much...
I don't know about unwinnable, but yeah, odds are we won anyways.
Yeah, I don't think Cheese would have come back from that for losing the Iron Hands, and yeah, it was just a pretty bad matchup, I think. Next up is Dunox versus Mata. Now this one is a matchup heavily in your favor.
You think so?
I think so, because good God, the way Dunox played Mata here was pretty wild, I'd say. Dragon versus Steel, I get it, but still. Despite the type disadvantage, I think you still had this. Because Dragapult was doing...
Yeah, it's only a type disadvantage on paper. The team itself isn't terribly disadvantaged.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Because Dragapult's specs was bussin' in this game. The Shadow Ball was really had put pressure against Mata's Goldango and Scizor, which Dragapult was able to break very easily. Having Archaludon's stamina live through Scissor's boosted Bullet Punch and Close Combat was also very nice. And yeah, because it lived on a few health at turn 13 with the boosted Close Combat towards that attempt. Raging Bolt just gotta clean the rest of the end game using both Thunderclap and Thunderbolt to beat Mata's low health Mons to win. So yeah, overall, pretty good win for Dunox, I'd say.
I'd say so as well. Quite happy that he got his first win.
Yeah, it's in mono of all places. Alright, next up, the Lore Society tying the Primal Power Pangoros. I literally did not see this coming. I thought the Lore Society had this, but Goros kind of Goroed it up, especially in the late games.
That's, one way of putting it, I guess.
First up, SVOU, we got Tear Acid defeating Suzia in an early game. Tear Acid, no, both of these players actually, they both brought freaking Earth Power, Landorus, Therian with Ice Beam, Ice Beam, Rocky Helmet, and Stealth Rock, and U-Turn and Earth Power, which was pretty fun. It was pretty notable as it played pivotal roles at some points. Suzia's Landorus got to kill Goldango. Tear Acid's Landorus Rocky Helmet did consistent chip damage to U-turning Mons, which was very interesting. It seemed Suzia was in control for the most part, with King Gambit living off a Pyro Ball from Cinderace, giving him time to Sucker Punch it, and Darkrai Kyurem effectively used as a breaker, chipping the Garganacl and beating the Landorus, while Zamazenta was mostly preserved. So it seems Suzia did have the advantage Pokeyard by the end. However, turn 28 came, with Tear Acid revealing the Terra Ghost Darkrai, tricking the Terrifier Zamazenta into Scarf and being immune to its body presses, giving him a consistent edge as it allowed... But as it was only allowed to crunch and really neutered, while Rillaboom killed it later with knockoff.
I don't know about you, but it looked to me like Tear Acid had the advantage even by this point in the game before he did that.
You think so?
Yes. Suzia was down 2 Mons.
I mean, Mons... At this point, I don't consider Mons... fine. Maybe the Mons...
Kyurem was alive at the time, but it couldn't come back in because it was too low and would have died to rocks.
Yeah, its health is kind of low.
And besides, there's a Darkrai, a Garganacl, a Cinderace, a Rillaboom, versus a half-health Slowking and a chipped Zamazenta. You really think Suzia had the advantage here?
Closely had the advantage. As soon as you switch out its Kyurem, though, that one was a kind of a deal breaker. Zamazenta was left.
No, he just straight up did not have the advantage, Mikoi. I think you are a little delusional.
Fine. And then but the Zamazenta would have had a hell of a time against the rest, actually, of all of Tear Acid's Mons, because he brought it out very safely. And then, but the turn itself, at turn 28, as it revealed the Ghost Terra Darkrai, and it allowed to only be, it was tricked by a Scarf. That one I think was more crucial than any friggin' Mons advantage that he had at that point, because Zamazenta would have easily cleaned it otherwise.
I have to say, I was a little confused as to why Suzia sent out Kyurem when he did.
Really?
Because, why exactly would you send it out versus the Garganacl?
Oh, you're talking about that turn. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Maybe he was trying to predict the switch?
There's a very limited amount of times you can send that out, and you don't want to send it out versus that.
Yeah, especially if it's specs, or, if you wanted to take something else. But no, don't. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
See, it's not a terrible thing that, Tear Acid sacked his Ice Resist if, your Kyurem can't really do much of anything from this point beyond.
Right. And yeah, as soon as at that point on, maybe he was just saving it for Zamazenta, who was going to come out anyway and just try to wall that, and then boom. After that point, it was just not over. It was just over at that point.
Yeah.
So good on to your acid. Putting up.
I think Darkrai kind of sealed it.
Yeah, Darkrai. Yeah, Darkrai definitely sealed it. Next up, Enzonana versus Beleth. Well, this game was funny, and watching it live, I was like, "What the frick happened? What the frick is happening to Enzo at first?" And then a couple of turns later, I'm like, "Okay, this makes sense." Enzo had some bad. What do I mean by this? Well, Enzo had bad luck around the beginning, despite the scissor flame body burn, leaving his Moltres unable to Will-O-Wisp Lando and then get taunted in the process. And this Tinglu was frozen, despite revealing Custap Berry and thawing out on turn 9. Couldn't kill the Greninja the turn after, even missing a free Draco to kill Scizor. See, there's the turn 9, there's the thaw out, there's the ice beam, there's the freeze, there's the thaw out, and then there's the earthquake.
Hold on. I'm looking through this as well, through these turns you're mentioning.
You gotta start at turn 8 when the freeze happened.
Oh wait, but didn't that freeze instantly thaw out?
Yeah, it didn't matter, but it was just an interesting point to figure out. Because it thawed out, got the Stealth Rock in, got the Custap Berry in, Custap Berry Tinglu. Never see a lot
of... Yeah, that was fun to see.
Yeah, I'll never really get to see a lot of Custap Berry Tinglu. And it worked here, but it didn't work in the long run because Greninja still lived and killed it. There's the Draco Meteor, and there's the Draco Meteor miss on turn 11, which was unfortunate. Iron Moth then outplayed King Gambit hard by Terraferring and subbing to avoid being Sucker Punch for the Fiery Dance kill. And then, in the end, it was the Iron Valiant that turned things around for Enzo. He had that in the back, and encoring the Raging Bolt in order to prevent being thunderclapped easily was nice, and Zamazenta just got to freely set up the Iron Defense body presses so it can win.
Yeah, the thunderclap into Encore, that was a really good play.
Risky play for Beleth, to be honest. Like, okay, I get why you would want a thunderclap, especially from the health that Latios and Iron Valiant were, but Enzonana sealed it with the Encore, which he foresaw that and won handily, which was nice. Alright, next up, Ice Master versus Ainscrad in Ubers. Ains was kind of at the early advantage, kind of had the advantage there early on, dodging Miraidon's Draco Meteor miss on turn 4, dodged that, and calling Draco again on turn 9 by Terraferring the Arc Ground before dying to a crit Electro Drift the next turn. Tit for tat, I say.
Mm-hmm.
Things turned around for Ice starting at turn 16, where he got the crit on Kyogre and it missing Thunder Wave in return. That was kind of like the point where, Ice has a chance. Ice has a chance of winning this one. Turret Grass Tinglu was kind of useful in this one, tanking Kyogre's Origin Pulses to kill it and Zacian with Earthquake before dying to a crit Draco Meteor. And then Koraidon just finished off Miraidon to win for Ice.
Yeah, it's like I saw Ain say in a server. Despite the fact that he got kind of lucky, he still lost because he got outplayed.
He got outplayed, which, it's Ice Master. We all had the notion that, Ice Master was going to beat Ainscrad. But, yeah.
Yeah.
The early scare, though, at the beginning was, it was terrifying, but, pulled it back at the end. Next up, Trogba versus Jawarabat. I am never gonna say this name right. Jawabarat. It's Jawman beat the Trogba man. Trogba did start off well, terrifying his T-Tar to consistently wall Ursaluna and beat it, and lowering his Tornadus' speed, which Jaw didn't realize at the time. You know, he thought that, what did he exactly say? There's something along the lines of, why the frick was that fast? It turned 22. Why was that faster? What? Am I dumb?
20, let's see.
Yeah, it was this.
Oh.
The Tornadus' speed fell from the Brequin Storm from turn 19.
That's not actually rocket science. That it just had Torn had speed lowered. That's why it was. That's why Exco was faster.
Yeah, I just had to point it out, which was really funny. Jaws Manaphy though did well. Tail glowing against low kicks to beat it with Surf at a good enough point. You know, protected with first impression. Got to set up the nasty plot to tank the frigging knockoff, and then Sucker Punch tanked it. Got to kill it with Scald very nicely. Scizor then won Jaw the game, beating Hydrapple and dodging a crucial Heat Wave miss to beat Tornadus.
Yeah, that kind of just sealed. Yeah, that sealed the game. Had that hit, Trogba won.
Mm-hmm. You know, you were talking about Trogba being a lucky fricker. He did not get the luck this time.
Well, I mean, there's only so much luck you can get before you start getting unlucky.
Speak for yourself, woman. Miss Lucky Predicts over here saying this.
Yeah, that's true. I guess this unluck of his was lucky for me.
Fine. Ampha versus Fiend was next. And Ampha won against Fiend.
Yes, well, under a account about, named,
Amogus Sus as Fudge.
Yes.
Well, the AF must have been all Facade, because turn 4 saw a Facade Cyclizar do some damage. However, Body Press brought it down to 1%, which burn and Sandstorm damage guaranteed it would die. Facade Cyclizar, again, that is something like I am just blown away every time I see it, but it makes sense. And then, of course, turn 29 was the crucial turn that happened. Ampha's Terra Dark Gengar outmatched Fiend's Terra Ghost Gengar to resist its Shadow Ball to kill its own self with Shadow Ball, and then proceeded to sweep after.
It's funny, they both have the same idea that turn, like, oh no, he's gonna kill my Gengar with Shadow Ball, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill your Gengar with Shadow Ball, and if you switch into anything else, I'm gonna Terra and kill that with Shadow Ball.
And yeah, it was just both heads coming into one. It's just that Ampha just got the better deal having Terra Dark.
Yep.
And won the game. Amogus sus as fuck won. Next up, NU. We got Danny versus Shinjineer, which Danny won. Finally, right? Shinjineer's luck is over.
Yep, well, I said the same thing for Trogba.
Well, Danny was much more the formidable player here, and definitely proved itself the winner by bringing Relic Song Meloetta. He brought Relic Song Meloetta, which is an interesting bring. Relic Song.
Well, I mean, you literally cannot access the other form without it.
Yeah, because the Relic Song Nasty Plot Monkey Dory. He was able to Relic Song Nasty Plot Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory, who had Nasty Plot, and was able to knock off the Swampert's leftovers, having the advantage early on. Sylveon consistently doing over half against Talonflame, which Psyshock was pretty notable, as Talonflame really couldn't get a leg up against the Sylveon for a few turns. Overall, having to resort to roosting. Overall, by the end, though, and towards the second half, there was nothing really much to say. Danny just consistently outplayed Shen, negating much of Terra Poison, Wo-Chien's attempts at Ruination, and Leech Seed too with the Belly Bolt and Vileplume. And Feraligatr was mostly preserved for the endgame, killing Talonflame, getting in a sword stance against Flygon to kill it with Oppajet. Any other notes on you main Pokeart?
I'm not really an NU main this gen, so no.
Danny won very convincingly. Better player in general. Good. Next up, Fish Anemometer versus Eternal Ocean. Well, Fish brought. What did Fish bring? I think it was a weird team. Oh yeah, this was this team. Houndstone and Meloetta.
Feel like it's been a hot minute since I've seen a Houndstone.
Right? Whatever happened to Last Respects Houndstone?
It got banned very early in the gen,
Good.
remember?
Good. Bring it back. Especially
No!
with the power. Bring it back,
Last
especially with the
Respects in general is just straight up banned everywhere now.
Last Respects, unban it just for once. Just once.
No.
Alright, turn 11 saw the Terra Grass Inteleon, Oko Gastrodon with Terra Blast, giving EO kind of a huge boost at the beginning. And then turn 15, we saw the floor just trying to trick the Colossal with Scarf, only to be met by Heavy Slam. However, I will say though, Fish Skuntank really carried, put in the work, and became MVP. Used effectively to kill Eternal Ocean's Colossal and Bombardier early into the game, then sucker punching Inteleon to even and even dodged a Hurricane to beat Kilowattrel and Slowbro with the Terra Dark knockoff plays to win. Anything else you would like to say in this game?
Not really. I think you just summed it up pretty well.
But yeah, Last Respects, please unban it just once. I would like to see it with the power creep. I will fight that. Last Respects is a good move. Not broken at all. Trust.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
Houndstone is not even a good one. It's Houndstone. It's only
Sandrush, Last Respects.
Say that again for the friggin' audience.
Sandrush, Last Respects.
Bring it back. Tyranitar's good. Alright.
No.
Tyranitar can take it. Anyway, next up we got Greedy versus Quinn. And yeah, I was really undermining Greedy here, because I really thought that Greedy was just in a rut.
Yeah, you were mean to him.
Well, he proved himself better here, which is good. Because Greedy started to have the advantage as soon as turn 14 hit, where Trapinch got paralyzed due to static, and got fully paralyzed the next turn for Terra Ice Voltorb to kill it. Kind of an unlucky turn for Quinn, as, you know, Trapinch could have been a kind of a good asset to have, but because the first impression hit, but then, yeah, the static, and then got fully paralyzed the next turn. Maybe he was going for a Protect, and it didn't get it. After that point, though, Greedy proceeded to outplay Quinn, with him playing to his advantage against the Terra Water coughing, Stunky doing most knockoff damage, and despite Quinn having Minfu try to come back, Greedy had just had more mons by the end, and then Stunky's aftermath just got the kill on it, winning the game. Anything else?
Not really. I think Greedy just played better.
Yeah, Greedy outplayed. Greedy finally won. Next up, oh boy, this game. Oh, Railgun versus Penter. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh no, this game. This game hurts my soul.
Oh dear.
This game hurts my soul and I don't want to relive it. As much as, the freaking other game. Raging Bolt. Very unlucky in this game. Very, very unlucky. Ogrepon encored it to lock it using Calm Mind. Terra Ground, Iron Crown. Crit killed it on turn 4. Costing Luisin really heavily. It was, it might have not done much against, the Iron Hands or the freaking Indeedee or anything Terra Ground. Well, Terra Ground, Iron Crown because it was already boosting itself with Calm Mind. But still, it was just unfortunate. Because Iron Hands and Iron Crown ended up, cleaning the rest of Railgun's team.
Yeah, that crit just... Yeah, no coming back from that.
Unfortunate, but Mons is Mons. Next up, we got Azik versus Ifikon. Oh, this game. This game was short but sweet for good old Azik.
Full of a lot of burns.
Yeah, because, Siphicon was really reliant on that burn damage. It was really reliant on his Dragapult, and Spectrier having the Will-O-Wisp Hex sets, which, yes, it did effectively do neuter against the Gliscor, not allowing it to get Toxic Orb off, which was nice. But the Will-O-Wisp Hex strats definitely did help a lot of times, some more so than others, especially Skarmory and not Corviknight, Gliscor, duh. Azik, though, unfazed. Azik was very unfazed in this one because Scarflandorus beat the Spectrier to beat no. Scarflandorus did enough to beat Spectrier, Mimikyu, and Ceruledge. Goldengum warding most of Tornadus' heat waves, and Dragonite setting up multiple Dragon Dances to beat both Dragapult and Fluttermane, with winning the game with the final kill on Goldango. Any else to say about that?
He just played better. You summed it up.
He played better, and there was
no doubt he would win.
There was nothing really Siphicon would do after he lost the frigging Dragapults and the Spectriers. Mimikyu was already dead as well, so extra dud. Next up, Thiago Nunes. Oh no, sorry. Got a team first. Snowbell Stuffles beating the Lavender Laprases. These are the top 2 teams IMO, but the Stuffles ended up winning against the Laprases. And I was very, very happy with that. First off, SBOU, we got Thiago Nunes versus TDNT. And Thiago Nunes, being the Ultra Chad that he is, playing first, taking the title away from JJ for no Johners.
Yeah, because JJ actually played pretty late this week.
And Thiago Nunes played early, very, very early. The first game, duh. It was a fairly short game as well, because Thiago Nunes...
Yeah, because both sides brought, as you can clearly tell, HO.
Very much HO. They were very, very big on the HO, but Thiago Nunes had his HO much better, because he brought the frickin' Sandy Shocks to do the rocks damage, then the Rillaboom to set up the Grassy Surge, which led to Hawlucha. Hawlucha ended up being the most effective Mon on his team, setting up the sword stance against the Greninja switch-in, and sweeping most of TDNT's team to win.
Yeah, it just kind of killed everything, didn't it?
It killed pretty much everything, getting even some crits here and there. It's the Iron Moth, but that's really about it.
Oh yeah, did it kill everything?
It did kill everything.
All 6?
Yeah. Well, not.
Damn, that's a sweep and a half.
It is a sweep and a half. It's a good Alucha. It's just freaking rain. It's just freaking grassy. It's just freaking grassy terrain. Freaking Alucha winning. That's it. Anyway, next up, career ended versus Starreal in the other OU game, which career ended 1 against Starreal. Told you if he's back in OU, he would win, and look what happened. Even though we did predict Starreal to win.
Well, I mean, Starreal would have won, but, you see, 2 crucial turns basically turned the tide of the entire game.
Let's review them, shall we? Play by play, shall we? Game started out pretty evenly for both players. Starreal managing to toxic the Great Tusk early on, while Career's Muck was able to crit knock off the Goldango's heavy duty boots, allowing for recover spam consumption. It was just recover spamming by that point, and it was very nasty. It was putting Starreal at a kind of a disadvantage at that point. At that point, not entirely for the rest of the game, but you get what I mean. Terra Water.
Yeah, I think.
Terra Water Clefable warred with Buck a lot. The latter trying to remove the former stat boost with Clear Smog, and Clef having Chilling Water Clef to reduce power to its attacks. Terra Water, Chilling Water. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you don't usually see chilling water on a clef, especially a setup clef.
It's a setup clef as well, yeah. Then comes the Terra Fire Great Tusk. It was able to remove its rocks at the end of its life when Gliscor died, removing any hazard danger for career going forward. Raging Bolt seemed to be a threat at the late game until Starreal roared it out on turn 42. Endgame saw the Muck be fully paralyzed on turn 53, losing to Clef's Moonblast. However, Clef lost to a full para on turn 38, which allowed Goldango to hex attack the rest of Starreal's Mons, winning career of the game.
Yeah, the whole tide of the game was just completely changed by 2 singular paras.
That Muck para and then that Clef para. That was
the Muck para was extremely detrimental for career and gave Star. I thought it gave him the win, but then no, Clefable got parried later, even though it had been parried for a lot of the game and just had never actually full parried until that point.
Yeah, he would have healed at turn 58 because Goldango was really pressurizing with the hex attacks. However, that para cost Starreal very heavily. Yeah, I missed the Thunder Wave, but that's it. That's really about it. The Goldango was just going on a rampage by that point because the hex. Yeah. Good win for career ended, I guess, even though it was kind of reliant on para luck. Whatever. It's fine. Next up, FC versus Terracotta in Ubers. I was scared for FC in this game. Why? Because he had horrible luck around the beginning. Missing the Thunder Wave on his Kyogre twice, and getting toxic in the process. Although, made up for it by catching the Gliscor switch in and killing it with Ice Beam at turn 3. Which was nice, I guess. Right. Anyway, bulk up sub Groudon could have been a potential threat for Terracotta, because that bulk up sub was doing some work, beating the Kyogre before losing to Arceus Ground's judgment. I guess maybe he shouldn't have Precipice Blades attacked him in turn 9, instead going for the full-on sub bulk up strats.
I mean, I don't know about that, because the Kyogre was just. I'm talking about the right turn, right? The Kyogre was just gonna keep attacking even if it kept subbing, you know?
The Arc Ground, you mean, but yes.
Oh, I'm not talking about the right turn. Damn.
Yeah. So, Zacian then had a really hard time against Arceus Water. Even after boosted Sword Stance with Wild Charge in close combat, it just wouldn't kill it, losing to it as a result. And then, at the end, Terra's Terrafire Koraidon failed to kill Ho-Oh, and FC's Koraidon ended up with the final kill on Eternatus to win this game. Any other notes you have?
Well, no, because I clearly was talking about the wrong turn before and was unable to keep track of anything else from that point.
So yeah, this one was, it was initially scary for FC to be behind, especially against the Groudon, but in the end he pulled it back and won.
I think the free kill on Gliscor was also pretty nice.
It was. He caught that switch in pretty well.
I don't think he intended to. I'm actually kind of confused as to why Terra sent it in.
Right. Maybe he was just maybe he was predicting a switch or something. Or a thunder.
No. I don't even know. I think, no, I know exactly what happened. Terra thought Kyogre was gonna go for Thunder Wave a third time.
Yeah.
But instead, Kyogre said, screw it, I'm attacking the Eternatus.
And, it paid off.
And it just so happened Gliscor switched in that turn.
I mean, it paid
off.
For
some reason.
It paid off really well. Alright, FC, good win. Next up, we have the only replay that doesn't work, so let me do something. Next up, we got Udon Girl versus Ziri. I have pulled up the replay because the link broke on Pokemon Showdown or on the Smogon thread, so I had to manually download the battle transcript, and here you go. Here's the footage right now. So, not much to note though in this game. It was very short. It was, kind of an expected win for Ziri. Azumarill was unfortunately paralyzed by a static. Tinkaton pickpocketing away Zoroark's scarf, which was a neat little turn here. Getting to steal the Zoroark's choice after losing the air balloon. And then, critting the Excadrill right after. And then Keldeo just kind of catching a switch in to beat Tinkaton via Hydro Pump. And Udon Girl just timed out. It wasn't a very short game. It was a very short game, I mean.
It was 11 turns.
11 turns, but you know what? There were still events that happened that might turn the tides, but hey, Ziri won. Next up, we have the big boys, the old heads, the Franklin versus El Cap. Now, if you were to tell me that 02 Arsenine was going to lose to El Cap, I would have instantly believed it in a heartbeat.
What?
I'm kidding. You would think. You would also be a clown for thinking that, so.
You would be the entire circus for thinking that.
I know where that meme is from now. Alright. So
yes, it's from a Twitter post.
So yeah, Ars kind of dominated El Cap in this game. Very heavily. And I am very happy with that. I think he just really went and got his frustrations out after being 0-2 for so long. That no, I am the RU seasonal winner. I am going to make sure that my ass, cleans. Also putting a pretty good logo by that in the process, so I'm gonna show it off definitely.
Yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's cute.
It's a good logo. It's a good logo. Miss Logo critic over here approves. Alright, anyway, ours dominated here. Hippowdon whirlwinding the Revavroom and beating Mimikyu with a crit Earthquake. Moltres tanking a gunk shot to heavily chipped Revavroom, leaving Groudon to kill it. Klefki starting the hazard attack. Cyclizar Dragon tailing Blastoise, getting rid of Shell Smash, leaving Gengar to clean the endgame and win.
At the time that I finally clicked on the game to watch it, because I don't think anyone linked it, I only really saw around the end of the game, so I see the Gengar go for Hex on the Blastoise, which just Terra Dark and lived, and I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me El Cap is about to sweep.
No.
Please don't tell me El Cap is about to reverse this, but then no, it was a Scarf Gengar, so it actually kind of just straight up outsped even after a Shell Smash.
Yeah, and that's ended up being beneficial. Good job, Arsenal, for keeping that Gengar with Scarf, not tricking it at some point later in the game. Good.
But dang, that was slightly risky because he went for Hex even though he could have easily locked into Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave or whatever.
Right? Sometimes risks are meant to be very terrifying. Alright, next up, Ming versus Team Charm. And Ming won against Team Charm. But how did
a lot of people are not familiar with Ming, so a lot of people thought that was surprising.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was surprising, but I knew better. Ming did really well at a seasonal at one point.
You predicted Team Charm, didn't you?
I did predict a Team Charm, but I knew Ming was good. I did check some of his replays out before the vids, and he seemed decent. And he showed proper form here in this game, which really can up his stock a little bit. Charm did look good early on, I'll give him credit. Freezing the Talonflame, who thawed immediately on turn 1. Having Weather Ball on Thundurus with Hail. It was an Ice Weather Ball, which is unique. Never really see that.
Well, yeah, because that way, that allows you to hit Flygon.
And very well, I might add. Allowing it to...
Well, yes, because it's ice.
Knocking off useful items on Ming's team, aka Muck's leftovers and Talonflame's heavy duty boots, and tanking multiple outrages from said Flygon to kill it with Blizzard. So Team Charm looked good here at first, but then turn 20, things turned around in Ming's favor, using the Terra Water on Talonflame to tank Titan's Icicle Crash to burn it, beating Abomasnow with Muck, and Swampert killing Tentacruel. And then Raikou...
Yep, it was a bit weird seeing the Terra come out when it was already such low health, but I guess it was enough to survive an Icicle Crash.
It was. It was burned as well, so extra doubly unfortunate for Charm there.
What?
The Titan.
Oh, you mean the Titan?
The Titan.
I meant Ming's Terra though, which the burn only happened after.
Yeah, but it was still very unfortunate for Team Charm having that burned Titan, not really doing anything with it. And then Talonflame, despite the Terra Water coming out late, it still proved its worth. And yeah, Raikou just ended up cleaning the endgame by that point, winning. So, any thoughts on Ming after this game? I know you aren't familiar.
Well, he played well. I expect I expect good things going forward.
Another player who we are pretty high on, especially after last week, Hellray versus Pote in PU. Hellray started off by poisoning multiple mons on Pote's team, Shell Side Arm poisoning Ambipom, and toxicking Hoopa with Belly Bolt. So he had a good time poisoning most of Pote's team, and by most I mean two. Then the growth Diplin tried to be useful for this game with it Terra poisoning and Dragon Tailing for extra headway, but it couldn't kill Slowbro as it was left to basically be switched out against Crafty, who was pretty much a consistent answer, and it being Terra poison definitely helped. Specifically making it so that it is weak against multiple attacks on Hellray's team. I don't know why Pote decided to Terra poison.
Hold on, let me see
The Diplin? It was the early turns. It was like turn 14 when it started terroring, but you know.
Oh wait, I skipped to the end by accident.
But yeah, it was just a weird
poison. Oh, on Diplin, yeah. Yeah, I remember this. No, I don't think that was too bad of a choice. I mean, this thing was very hard to kill.
I mean, yeah, it is pretty hard to kill, and it's got growth here for extra leverage here, but Slowbro being Poison Psychic, possibly having a Psychic move and having Earthquake. Gligar was also is a ground type. Tauros was there. Friggin'. It was just, Hellray just had a lot more coverage against Terra Poison, specifically. Specifically Terra Poison. Oh yeah, Slowbro had Psychic, which did a special drop on Diplin, which was also pretty unfortunate. For the rest of the game, Hellray just consistently tanked most of Pote's attempts at breaking, taking advantage of Scrafty's rest and regen Slowbro. Pote struggling a bit to pressurize with his remaining mons at the second half, giving Hellray the advantage and the clear win. Despite, bulk up Grimmsnarl appearing, there was also Scrafty, the threat he was threatening about. There was also the Milotic, which really didn't do anything notable. So yeah, it was just a very clean Hellray game.
Yep, I expected no less from Hellray.
Hellray did a bit well. Next up, we got Blehay versus Polo Ariosto. A lot of people were praising Polo at the end of this game because better player. Polo did better, and he did do better. That's why he won. Duh.
Yeah.
So Polio did better, beating his Mudbray actually outsped Bleehay's Mudbray twice, beating it with Earthquake, which was great, which was very funny. Hazard Stack was played to Polo's advantage with Mudshotting Stunky and getting one layer of Spike in with this Glimmet, which proved to be kind of a good advantage for Polo. And then the Voltorb ended up becoming the MVP, Giga draining the Terra Ground Vullaby, staticking also it in the same turn, as well as mostly preserving it for much of the end game. It beating the Terra Firing to beat the Terra Blast Bleah's own Voltorb for the win. Any other notes in this game?
Let's see. I think I thoughts.
Okay. Explain.
Oh yeah, I found Bleehay's terror to be weird.
Fairground, followed by.
I guess he predicted I guess he predicted I guess he predicted that why am I having trouble? I guess he predicted Gothita would Thunderbolt.
Which 9
And
times out of
that's why
10 wouldn't.
I don't know about that, but I don't know. Just watching the game, I felt like the right play would be to sack Limit rather than attack with Gothita.
Yeah. I think so, because, you know, it would have had a lot more leverage with Gothita being around. Also, getting rid of the hazard stack on Polo side, on the Toxic Spikes at least.
Besides, the Terra also felt, I guess, premature because, yeah, if you Terra ground and nothing comes of it, like nothing came of it, then Voltorb just comes in and says, "Ooh, ground type."
Free ground type, free kill, free static, free everything. And
Health to Slurp.
Health to Slurp, Thunderbolting the rest, and then Terrifying to kill Liaison Voltorb. Which was nice. Good win for Polo. Next up, the penultimate game, we got SMB versus Akaru Kokuyo. And this one I actually got right.
Yes, you did.
Thank God. It took me friggin' 38 games, but we finally made it. SMB.
Well, you got some other ones right.
Thank God. Well, most of those are games I didn't predict, or you didn't predict because it was on your team, but still.
No, I mean some ones we disagreed with.
Oh. But you got the better end of that. Let me have this one win, okay?
Well, I mean, let's see. What did you predict that I got wrong?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, not a lot. I'm actually. Oh, wait, this might have been the only one.
Yeah, exactly. Let me have this one win, damn it.
Oopsie.
Okay, so Akaru brought SMB's Mons early on to Sash level at turn 1, which favored SMB kind of in the long run because he was able to still get off rocks before being snarled at with Chi-Yu. And as well as Icy Winding Iron Hands at that point. Whatever. It seemed Akaru had the advantage for killing Ninetales and Ogerpon and neutering Raging Bolt with a bit with Snarl. However, SMB turned it around with a Terrasteel Walking Wake, tanking Ogerpon's Ivy Cudgel, doing enough damage with Hydro Steam and Flamethrower, while Raging Bolt calm minding in the back to provide extra support for him to Dragon Pulse Iron Hands for the win.
Yeah, it's sad that SMB looked to be in a very dominant position, but well, yeah, Terra completely changed that. The only way he would have still won is if he went for, you know, superpower onto the Steel Walking Wake instead of Ivy Cudgel, and if not that, then if he attacked the, well, actually no, I guess he expected Ivy Cudgel to kill because he wasn't expecting a Terra and not Steel, no less. So that's, I guess, why he went for Ice Punch, which also wasn't very effective on the Wake. I guess he just double targeted Wake just in case it teared because he saw that as the biggest priority. He figured Ivy Cudgel would kill, so he figured that the Ice Punch would go into, he figured it would go into the Raging Bolt.
Yeah, in the end,
so that turn was a little disastrous.
It was a disastrous for Akaru, as the walking weight definitely helped SMB, the Terra Steel in that regard, and then the friggin' there was a close combat crit with the Iron Hands against the Raging Bolt, but yeah, our walking weight was still in the back, still ready to kick some ass, and won. And last but not least, we got Tenebrasite beating Rafna in Monotype.
This was a weird game. I don't think I had actually seen it until I watched it today, and I was just kind of confused.
This was a very, very weird game. Both bringing kind of weird teams, and the gameplay themselves, it was fine, but it was not fine.
No, the gameplay was what I found weird. The teams are, I guess Rafna is maybe kind of weird, because I don't know how I feel about Tentacruel.
Yeah, the Mono Water versus the Mono Dark was interesting. But Tenebrasite did dominate Rafna a bit here. Greninja's Extrasensory against Tentacruel was an immediate leg up. Qian Pao beat...
Yeah, but I gotta wonder, why did he proceed to switch right after?
I don't know, actually. That might...
Oh, I guess he expected Rafna to switch?
Yeah, I think
into something immune to the extrasensory, because actually, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, Samurott would have been immune to extrasensory.
But yeah, then why did he switch out Meowscarada from Swampert?
Yeah, maybe. I think it was choice. Or no, it still would have been choice. It still would have done a lot. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, actually, I guess it was choice because it wasn't Boots.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just weird. Qian Pao...
No, I think it gets less weird once you look at it a bit better, which I'm now doing, and now realizing why some of these plays were made.
Go on, if you can explain it.
Although I gotta wonder, why do you turn? Why do you turn and not just outright kill Swampert? Is it perhaps because
Barraskewda, the Pelipper friggin' thing, or maybe even the...
No, but just a Flower Trick would have gotten a free kill on anything that comes in.
Maybe, yeah, especially with these low health things.
Maybe he didn't want Meowscarada out when Barraskewda comes in. Perhaps he wanted Shenpao to be out because Sucker Punch probably just outright kills it.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that might have been the case.
But yeah, I guess the game was played very carefully from Tenebrasite.
All right.
He didn't want anything. He didn't want to give Rafna any opportunities for Barraskewda to do anything.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It did work. It did work in the long run.
Because Barraskewda never really got to do much of anything in rain. It came in. It came in later without rain, and it just died to a Sucker Punch.
Mm-hmm. Kingambit. Yeah, Kingambit Sucker Punch was definitely very useful, especially at the late game. Hazard Stack also helped him out in the long run. Beating out the Greninja, beating out the Pelipper, beating out the Barraskewda, and the Greninja to win! Good job. Good win for Tenebrasite.
Yeah, it goes to show that sometimes you don't need to be aggressive to actually win.
And he proved that in spades. Well done. Alright, so that covers up the recap, which only took 2 hours. Only took 2 hours. Instead, let's see who one predicts. Let's see who one predicts.
Okay, so, believe it or not, we actually got the exact same number of predicts right.
Yeah, I laughed when I saw that.
Yeah, although that means that's two very different things, considering you had to predict for quite a few more games than me.
Yeah, 40 games as opposed to 30. But the ratio, man, the ratio was interesting. Kindly point them out, Pokemon.
So I think it's pretty clear who won predicts, right?
Yup. Announce it.
Me. I won predicts. Finally.
Yeah. 22 out of 30. Good ratio.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
And then
That's actually better than everyone did this week.
and I got 22 out of 40, which is not a bad ratio. I still got more than half.
A little more than half.
Don't rub it in. I know I suck.
Somehow this is actually worse than last week, though, despite all the upsets last week.
Yeah. I didn't go full on betting man, unfortunately. I will do that this week though. I promise. Maybe. I don't know. I'll look at it. Alright, anyway. Let's move on to predict so we can get this long video done.
Yep.
First off, the first matchup we hear is the Phantom Trout versus the Resort City Rufflets. The top two teams in the records, with the Phantom Trout leading with 3 wins against the Rufflets 2 wins and 1 tie. So whoever wins here,
I'd be lying if I said I'm not scared by looking at their lineup.
Whoever wins here probably is guaranteed playoffs. If the Phantom Trout wins, then yes.
Actually, if the Phantom Trap wins, yes, I think they're guaranteed playoffs. If we win, we'll be in a great position, but I don't think we'd be guaranteed yet. Because of the tie previous week.
Yeah, if the just depends. If Phantom Trap do tie or win, they're 100% going to playoffs.
This is an important week.
But you guys might have might still make playoffs if the rest of the later weeks do go well, but it really just depends on this week. This week you gotta prove that you're game for playoffs. Alright, first off, 3D versus Frozoid. Why the fuck is Frozoid in OU?
He signed up for OU.
I know this guy is an LC and Uber's main, but man, OU, okay.
He said he preferred OU over LC in signups.
Frozoid, you gotta prove yourself against a traditional OU main in 3D. So, I'm gonna go with the safe option here. I can't see Frozoid winning against 3D.
I genuinely do not know how Frozoid even plays, so seeing this on the lineup, I was like, oh, really?
He's good in Ubers, and he's good in LC, but I don't know about OU.
I genuinely don't think I've seen Frozoid play anything but Ran, so this is gonna be... I think this is going to be a new experience for both of us.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know his OU style, but I don't know. Maybe it'll prove me wrong this week. We'll see. Next.
Well, the prep will probably be good.
Hopefully. SVOU, we got JoJo Wee versus VK. Why the fuck is JoJo Wee playing OU?
He's an OU player.
I know. I keep saying that, but man. I know JoJo's good in Monotype, but hey, I've heard from the grapevine that he's doing a lot of ladder in OU recently, and he's been trying to, prove himself as the OU man.
Yes, isn't that what we researched during quals?
I think we did research it a point, and I specifically highlighted more of his mono records than his OU prep, so this should be interesting.
I can confirm he plays a lot of OU. Not in Smogan really, but Well, actually, he does play some of it in Spoken, but
Yeah,
he does play a lot of it on ladder.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of it on ladder, and I recall you mentioned that he's doing a lot of S tours as well.
Oh yeah, he has been doing some of the S tours.
So this should be interesting. However, the friggin' man in me says that I'm going with VK. So I'm just generally see VK as the better player. Is that harsh for me to say? Who knows? I think I'm still going VK on this one.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect from JoJo Wee because I've only really seen him play in Tor's room. I haven't actually seen how he does in ladder or S tours or smoking or anything.
Alright, so put in my name as VK and let's move on. To an actual highlight match, 7U992 versus Richard Milliplane. This
yeah. Richard saw this matchup. He's like, "Oh boy, need to bring out the big guns."
You got the big guns, and both of these are actually 3-0 right now. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this one should be very interesting. Both players are 3-0. Both players are very good at the Ubers. However, who's been more impressive lately? That's the big question here. Because both players are very impressive so far in this BLT. Both have been having their strong ties into Ubers very, very well. This might be betting man of me in saying this, but I'm actually going to predict for Richard.
To be honest, that's not super betting, man, because Richard's on a roll.
Richard's on a roll, but 7U992 has just been... I know people are going to probably predict for 7U992 more, but I think I'm going Richard. I think I have just more... I'm just thinking opposite this time.
Your support is very appreciated.
Well, you're going to lose me here because Just Franco is fighting Piyush this week in SVU.
Piyush, the Mainer Slayer?
The Mainer Slayer, yes. He has beaten Thiago in OU. He's beaten Mimi Lucha in UU. And now he's fighting a GOAT. A general GOAT in Just Franco. No.
And you're saying Thiago wasn't just as much of a GOAT that he beat with ease?
He beat with ease. That's the problem. Alright, that's the problem. The Piyush is a Mainer Slayer. So a lot of what did Fragment say about no because it's its player. No.
Yeah. he didn't predict for the series.
Yeah. Boy. Should be fun. Should be interesting. Should I go for Piyush for being the Mainer Slayer? Should I go with my heart and go for the tried and true Just Franco?
Well, think about last week, maybe.
Fine.
Who did better?
Yeah, fine. We're going Piyush. Piyush did better last week.
I gotta say, they must be terrified of Piyush if they brought out Franco in this slot.
Yeah. This one should be interesting. I'm generally looking forward to this game and seeing how this plays out. Alright, next one, SVRU. Kind of a dark horse highlight match if you're around the circuit a little bit. You got High Naming is Hard versus Lime.
Oh, honestly, half of our matches are highlight matches. Richard versus 7U992 is a highlight match. Just Franco versus Piyush is a highlight match. This is a highlight match. Some of the others, a bit further down, can be considered highlights.
Well, we'll talk about it when we talk about it. So, again, High Naming's Hard, if you don't know, very notable RU player, very up-and-coming RU player, currently in the ranks. Was runner-up at a seasonal or a cup, I don't remember. But he's very good at the RUs. Lime, tried and true RU main, has been somewhat okay. I think his record is what? 2-1?
He's 2-0.
2-0.
In fact, we actually don't have any losses in our RU slot.
Good.
Because Mindos won one, and then Lime has won the past 2 weeks.
But I think you're gonna suffer your first loss here, because I think I'm going with Eye Naming is Hard. Like, Lime can win if he gets some proper prep in, but I think Just
Lime was prepped to face Franco like immediately. He was prepped before the week went up. I guess this is a bit of a change of plans, but he's good at prepping.
yeah, this one is throwing a curveball, and I think this curveball may have worked in their favor. I'm going with high naming is hard on this one.
Okay, fine.
SVNU. SVNU Stories versus Wadley. Both players are currently 2-1, I think, right now.
Oh yeah, because Stories lost to Shengineer in week 1, right?
Yes, and I think he won the last two. Wadley lost week 3 and won the previous 2. Genuine highlight. Both players are goated at NU.
Oh yeah, this is the NU highlight, I think.
I wouldn't say the.
Oh yes, it is.
Is it though? Oh wait.
Yeah, these are like the 2 best in the pool.
Oh wait, Danny faced Wadley at week 1, and Wadley won that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Then you're right. This would be the next highlight match after that. So yeah, Stories Wadley should be a fun one. Should be a good one. I think I'm going Wadley, but slightly going with Wadley.
Yeah, thank you. I understand this does look pretty close on paper.
It is very close on paper, so I'm struggling a little bit here. I wouldn't mind to see Stories winning, but I think Wadley's just better here. If it doesn't get fucked over by a shitty matchup like it did last week.
Yeah, Stories has shown that they can be unpredictable after what they brought last week.
This might be this. Wadley may need to grind a little. They might to think outside the box a little bit more here. SVPU, we got Drip Legend coming back against TGA. Yeah, I don't think this should be very hard, to be honest. Drip Legend, I haven't been impressed with. TGA can be what? He's kind of a 1-2 right now.
He's 1-2, yes, but his game versus Druid would have been a win without the poison.
Yeah, his performances have been a little lackluster, if not a little unlucky at certain times. But I think he'll finally prove himself against someone who I haven't really been impressed with. So, TGA.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that, so I already typed it in.
Next up, another highlight match, if you wouldn't believe it or not.
Yeah, this is an LC highlight match.
This one should be the LC highlight match. Stars Ama versus Elfuson. Elfuson kind of disappointed last week with a rough matchup and just kind of like not a very good performance. Meanwhile, Stars Ama, good God, this man is 3-0 and is breaking down barriers. Genuine breakout star of LC. And
ha 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 ha. Was that even intended, pun?
That wasn't even an intentional pun. What are you laughing about? Anyway, I think Stars Ama will win. I personally think Stars Ama. I've been more impressed with Stars Ama recently. They've been killing it so far in the LC pool.
I had a feeling you'd say that, honestly.
They've been killing it in the LC pool, and I wouldn't be surprised if they perform better here. Although if Elfuson plays his best, Elfuson can win. So yeah.
Oh, of course, Elfuson's goated.
Yeah, he can win. It's just Stars Ama has been more impressive. Let's SPDOU. We got Loud Winner versus Aragon. Both players are 1-2, I think, right now.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah, it has been a pretty unlucky turn of events for Aragon here. Like game 1, he impressed, despite being unlucky. He did win against Penter in week 1 and then lost badly against Ineffable and Exotic. And Loud Winner got a lucky break after beating Cheese, and maybe this is the start of something something that can turn around for Loud Winner.
Oh?
But I will still predict Aragon to win because, generally speaking, I still think Aragon is the better player. However,
Wow, thanks for giving me false hope.
However, if things turned out very well for Loudwinner, I think he can win. Aragon, and if he does win, then Aragon would have a rut. Well, he would be currently in a rut, but this rut would be even worse. And Loudwinner might be on the up and up after that. So if Loudwinner wins, I'll be impressed. SV Monotype, we got Royal Reloaded versus Dunox. This one should be interesting. Both players are very very good at the monotypes. So this one should be fun. I am going to be devil's advocate a little bit here, and I'm going to predict Dunox to win over the traditional Royal Reloaded.
Oh, thank you.
I think Dunox...
Yeah, I'm of... look, I admit, it seems like Royal Reloaded is definitely much more into mono than Dunox is.
But I think Dunox is cooking more. I think Dunox is playing a little...
I think Dunox is just the better player,
yes.
Is the thing.
Dunox is the better player of the two. But if we're talking UU, Dunox would still win. Monotype. He is slightly the better player. Royal Reloaded just is more versatile. Yeah, this is his tier, but yeah, I think Dunox will win. All right, next up, we got now Poke Art. You can predict now the Lord Society versus the Flame Slinger Skeledurgus. First off, SVOU, we got Tear Acid versus JJ. I know Tear Acid complained last week about people not being so highly of him, but...
I don't know if I can bold against JJ.
No, I will not bold against JJ, because that would be dumb.
Sorry, dear. We can't be high on you when this is your opponent.
Yeah, JJ is too goated. Let's move on. SVOU, we got Enzo Nana versus Avarice. This is a curious... Yeah, this one's a curious matchup. Enzo Nana finally got a win last week, which is good. Avarice, after a strong showing in week 1, didn't really see much more of that side of him in weeks 2 and 3.
Oh, is he negative now?
I think he's 1-1 actually. I'm not sure.
I thought he's been playing every week. He can't be 1-1.
Is he? Did he play week 2?
1, 2. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's 1-2.
He's 1-2.
He's negative.
He's negative.
He's already starting negative. Oh no.
Oh no, 1-2 Avarice.
The curse of BLT.
It's happening again. Will it happen this week? I would like to say no. I think I still have faith in the Avarice. He will win. I will still go for Avarice.
I'll go for Enzo Nana.
Really? What's your reasoning?
He played well last week. I was impressed.
Despite the bad luck? Sure.
Yeah, like, he came back nicely despite the bad luck, and he brought an interesting set.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was good. I would, if Enzo Nana wins, then, yeah. I would dare say Enzo Nana would be very comfortable now in OU, had he had a much more success rate in the past 2 weeks. But the last week definitely proved himself, and you know what? That's good for him. I just think Avarice is better. Next up, SV Ubers. We got Sky U versus Ice Master. Now, who do you think will win in this highlight of highlight matches?
Ice Master, personally.
Ice Master, really? What gives you that?
I don't know. I just feel better predicting for Ice Master than Skyu, I guess.
Meanwhile, I will disagree. I think Skyu's been hella impressive. Currently, I think... No, he's not 3-0. He's 2-1. But yeah, I've just been generally impressed with how well Skyu has managed to play. So I think Skyu was gonna have this one. Next up,
Okay.
Trogba versus Drew. Trogba has had 2 lucky wins and then 1 really bad loss. While Drew,
Yeah, 2 lucky wins and 1 unlucky loss. That's really funny, actually.
that is ironic to the nth degree. Meanwhile, Drew, very consistent, very consistent UU player, and has been getting farming wins when he needs to, and that is a good thing. I think this should be a Drew win.
Okay.
Would you agree?
I feel like this could easily go either way, though.
Really? You still think Drogba has a chance?
I mean, he would have won last week, is the thing.
They would have. But the loss. What? Yeah, no, I still think Drew 100%.
And besides, Roche came very close to beating Drew. It's that Roche actually got unlucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see, it's a bit more even than you think.
Okay, fair enough. Next up, as we argue, we got Ampha versus Fellyburn. Curious matchup, this one. I know these aren't because both players, they aren't as good as like a Fiend or a High Naming is Hard or a Ars9 or hell even a Temp. But yeah, I think both of these players are kind of just lost in the RU shuffle because RU is such a stacked pool this year and should be very interesting to see. Fellyburn is a tier later, so you should have more access to, getting some more knowledge. And Ampha's been holding on his own, being not the better player, but I think they're both equally skilled. Is the thing as well. So this could be a pretty hard predict, but I'm generally thinking. I think I'm going with Fellyburn on this one.
I'm going Fellyburn too, but it's weird. Ampha's been winning these matches that I don't feel like they should be winning.
And last week he proved himself by beating Fiend, so yeah.
Who did he beat before that?
Ars9, I think.
No, he beat that is who he beat.
Yeah, he beat Ars9, yeah. He beat Ars9 and then Fiend, which is impressive, but yeah, I think it'll lose to Fellyburn.
Yeah, it makes me almost second guess myself here.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Fellyburn can still have the win here, but yeah. Just for better building purposes. Next up, SVNU Danny versus Acrotix. Danny.
Ooh, that is a good matchup.
That's a good matchup. If only Acrotix was better here, then if Acrotix was only playing like he did last year, which unfortunately is not the case. Danny has been much more consistent this year. Acrotix has been kind of having a rut this year, kind of been unlucky with his game, so yeah, this should be a Danny win.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, Acrotix. Hopefully you'll do better this week. Next up, SVPU, we got Eternal Ocean versus Blood Ace. Both newcomers to the scene. Both newcomers to PU. Now that we have seen more of Eternal Ocean, what do you think?
He's okay.
He's only into his own, which is interesting. Although, not by much. I still need to see more oomph coming from him. Like, more outstanding kind of plays. Like, the one he did against TGA. Those kinds of plays. That kind of week was, kind of a good showing for him. But otherwise, it's been kind of mediocre. Blood Ace, admittedly got lucky last week, so,
I don't know. Did he get lucky?
Because of the friggin' the toxicity play, the choke that Lost Memories did. So
that's not really. I don't think that's luck. That was just a choke that Lost Memories did.
But Blood Ace, I could see them coming to their own. But for me, I'm gonna be a betting man here. I'm thinking Eternal Ocean will win.
I'll go Blood Ace.
That's fair. I could see Blood Ace winning as well. But yeah, I just want to see more impressive performances from Eternal Ocean. So this matchup might be the decider, the unsung decider for this one. Here we have a matchup that is not that in any way, shape, or form. This is Floor versus Tempo.
Ah, yeah, Floor is in.
Floor is finally playing, and he's playing LC against Tempo. Well, well, well. What do we think of Floor as a player?
They've always been decent.
They've been alright, just not very, not standing out as much. Tempo, I had really high hopes for him, but unfortunately his performances are kind of lackluster, especially in weeks 2 and 3 where he kind of disappointed. So, Floor?
Are you going for Floor?
I think I'm going Floor. I think I'm going with Floor on this one.
I'm also going Floor.
Please, Stitch. Please don't bring shitty teams.
He probably won't.
Alright, next up, SVDOU, we got Railgun versus Exotic. Yeah, Exotic beat Velvet and then beat Aragon in 2 okay games. Well, Railgun just kind of had a pretty unfortunate loss last week. I think I'll bounce back. Railgun to win here.
Understandable, I say the same.
Next up is SV Monotype Pacificon versus Twinkie. This is a close one. On paper, this should be a very close one. I think both players are decently even skill-wise, and both players have been proven to have pretty good success rates in the past. Pacificon has had up and down records in BLT's past. This year looks to be the same, really. He's had some good wins, but he also had some bad losses. Twinkie
is the same, basically.
Same, but I think they're better. So I think I'm going Twinkie.
I'm also going Twinkie.
Yeah, Twinkie should be more favored. I think Twinkie's got more of the advantage here. Next up, we have the Snowbell Stuffles versus the Sunny Shore Snorlaxes. Another old head versus old head face-off. And my god, my brain ages like 10 years a day looking at them managers.
Then why are you not dead if that's how fast it's aging?
10 years a day. 10 very slow years a day. Ugh. SVOU, we got TDNT versus Ferenia.
Sorry, Ferenia.
Oh, you're picking TDNT?
Yes.
Why?
They seem better.
You know what? Despite the shitty way that they won last week, I'm still going Ferenia. Might be a betting man instinct, yes, but you know what? I believe in the power of one last kiss. Alright, next up. Career Ended versus Mimikyu Stardust in SVOU. This one's close. This one should be very close.
Really?
Yeah, I think both of them are pretty good. Career Ended, I think, is much more better here than he is in UU. Like this one is much more of his tier, and he proved that last week by beating Storiel. Mimikyu Stardust also kind of impressed last week against VK, and I still think
how
not impressed. Okay, you just got lucky.
Yeah, I don't think anything about that game was terribly impressive.
But week 1, I still think back to week 1 and how he played against Diago Nunes, and yeah, that game was still really good. It's still very fresh in my memory, and yeah, that was just an SCL level game, okay? So yeah, I think I'm going Mimikyu Stardust on this one, despite the fact that
I actually chose Career Ended pretty quickly.
Really? Why did you pick Career Ended?
Better player.
Well, I think Mimikyu is the better player of the two here, so I don't know. I don't know about that. Alright. Next up, we have a highlight match at the Wazoo. FC versus Layson. Who do you have? despite the fact that Layson is your former team member.
Yes.
Okay.
FC's a lot more solid.
Yeah, I also pick FC here. FC is much better. FC is much more consistent here. Layson had a good. I think he won in week 2, or did he not? I don't remember. But in any case, else I think I'll struggle against FC. FC should win. Next up, SVUU, we got Udon Girl versus Mimi Lucha, a genuine highlight. Genuinely,
well, or at least it would be if both of them didn't get if it weren't for the games they had last week.
yeah, both of them kind of sucked last week, but I still maintain the fact that these two are pretty good, pretty underrated, pretty very. It could be unsung dark horses in UU. Have you give them much prep? Have you give them much practice time? And just generally let them go wild. Let Udon Girl.
Has Udon Girl won a game yet?
They won one game last year. They've only played last week. PokeArt.
Oh right.
Yeah. So it should be fun. Should be a fun game. I think I'm going Mimi Lucha though. I
am also going Mimi Lucha, though I'm rooting for Udon Girl. I want to see them win.
I want to see them perform to their Udon Girl best. SVRU. We got the Franklin versus Trade.
Oh my gosh.
This is a good match. Both players. We know Arse9's very good at the RUs, but Trade is an unsung goat. If you put him in any other tier, they'll probably surprise us with a win or two. And this one should be no different. I think I'm going Arse9 just to be on the safe side, but I will not, nor in any way, be surprised if Trade wins.
Me neither. And hell, Arse9's not been doing too well this season.
No. 1-2 Arse9. Ugh. Gross. SVNU. We got Ming549 versus Skier Dude 101. The two players who beat Team Charm, I believe. And Skier Dude also has the knowledge of beating Wadley, so he's 2-1. Meanwhile, Ming is 1-0. What do you think?
Didn't Team Charm beat Scare Dude?
Oh, never mind. 1-2 then. 1-2 then for Scare Dude. Never mind. Me waffling. Both players looked interesting. I mean, what do you think? Okay, what do you think?
I personally think Ming.
You're going with the Ming. Better player?
Yeah, and their build was, from what I could tell of their build last week, they prep well. They prepped well into what Team Charm brought.
They did prep well. I will give them credit. They're used to the NU meta, and I think they'll do fine here. So yeah,
and they expected Team Charm to bring HO. And so he brought Ditto, in fact.
Yeah, and it played well to his strengths and won. Hopefully he'll do the same here. He'll do the same here, I think. So I think I'm going with Ming as well. Next up, we got Let's Rumble Shall We versus Druid. Should be a good one.
Yes.
Should be a good one. I will not discredit Hellray on this one because he is a PU player. He can absolutely play well to his best at full advantage. Meanwhile, he's facing Druid, though, who is the best player in the PU pool so far, aside from Fish. Fish.
Yeah, I was going to say, he forgot Fish.
Aside from Fish. But Druid is 3-0. I think Druid is going to win.
He wouldn't be 3-0 if not for a poison.
PokeArt, despite you being salty, are you still gonna pick Druid?
Yes, although I would not be surprised if Let's Rumble Shall We wins, because I think he's actually pretty dang good in lower tiers like RU through PU.
Yes.
And people don't acknowledge that enough.
Yeah, I think people are sleeping on Hellray a bit, so yeah, should be a good one. LCVLC Blie versus Hacker. Is this a 100? Is this a 100-0 predict?
Yeah, we don't have to talk about this one.
And I mean 100-0 in favor of Blie. That's what we'll give him. Okay. No, it's a Hacker. A Hacker 100%.
I don't know. I don't think we should be saying that, because last time we said that, the opposite happened.
What? Just jinx it yet again?
Let's just say we think Hacker will win and leave it at that, okay? No jinxing.
Jinx will happen. SVDOU. We got Akur Kokia versus the Cheesin' one. You know what? I would call this a highlight if Cheese got to play more than what he did. I mean, he just came back for this. As much as we want to root for Cheese, though, I think Akaru has this.
Yeah, I agree. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Cheese wins, because Cheese can bring some interesting stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
To beat out pros.
Yeah. He did do that thing last year, if you remember that game.
Hell, didn't he actually beat Akaru last year?
Was that the game where Cheese brought the thing last year?
I don't know what you're referring to, but
Well, you helped him out.
I think he might have beaten Akaru last year. I don't really remember, though.
Okay, we'll check that later, but yeah, I think... But here, I mean, nowadays, I still think Akaru will win.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Tenebrasite versus Mana in SB Monotype. Well. As much as we want to go for Mata for being tried and true mono main, I mean, Tenebrasite coming into his own in SP Mono, I think this is a pretty easy predict. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Tenebrasite to win. And finally, we got the Lavender Lapises versus the Primal Power Pangoros. First off, SVOU, we got Thiago Nunes versus Suzia, which happened!
Oh yeah, didn't Suzia actually win?
Suzia won.
Okay, I'm taking the L on that.
I am also taking the L on that, because I really do think Thiago would have won this either way, but yeah, he won.
Yeah, apparently it was a haxy game.
We'll see the game, and we'll review that game next week. Alright, next up, we got the other OU game, Stariel versus Boleth. Well, Stariel had a setback last week, but I don't think that's going to deter him. I think Stariel's been more impressive this year, and will continue to be impressive this year.
I agree.
SV Ubers, we got Pote versus Ainscrad. Two
man.
Boys.
Ains, you better not lose to Pote.
Two boys. These are two of my boys here. Pote and Ainscrad, both boys. And yeah, Pote just finally stepping into Uber's territory after playing PU for so long.
I mean, he stepped into Uber's territory before. He lost to Lassen, remember?
Oh yeah, he did. And then he switched to PU, and now he's coming back to Uber's. And now he's facing Ainscrad. And he's losing. Sorry, Boyne will win. Ainscrad, more established.
Yeah, look, Boyne's had a rough season so far, but I don't think he's losing to Pote.
If he does.
No disrespect, Pote, but this is an actual Uber's player.
Yeah, this is a Uber's player. This should be an Ainscrad. This should be Ainscrad's home turf. We'll see. Especially because he got close in the win against Ice Master last week. SVUU, we got Ziri versus Jaw. Jaw has been coming into his own in UU. I'm generally like...
yeah, too bad he's not Ziri.
He's been doing okay in UU, but then again, he's facing Ziri this week, who got unlucky who got unlucky in week 1 and then won in week 3. I think he won also week 2, so he's 2-1. So yeah, Ziri, 100%.
Ziri, yeah.
SVRU, we got Temp versus Fiend. This is a highlight match. Both players are looking pretty strong going into this. Although Fiend lost last week and lost another week before that. I can't remember out the top of my head.
Are both of them negative?
I think both of them are negative.
Oh man.
Yeah, which is shocking. I know. In the tier is stacked as fuck. RU pool. Temp and Fiend being negative is a kind of a bleh. But you know, who are you picking?
Let's see.
You know what?
Temp trade.
Temp got subbed out last week. Oh no, Temp's neutral though.
Oh yeah, he's 1-1. And Fiend, let's see. Lost versus Franco, beat Fellaburn, lost versus Zampa, 1-2.
1-2. Temp's a great builder, but Fiend is the better player. So I think Fiend.
Really?
Yeah.
I went Temp.
Really? Why'd you go for Temp?
I don't know. Gut feeling, I guess. Oh. And I have faith in Temp.
I do have faith in Temp, but it just depends on his builds, which I think Fiend will see through him. Alright, next up we got SVNU, we got Swine Up Fan versus Shinjineer. Yeah. This one's kind of hard, because both players have been doing okay in NU so far. Although, let's see, I just say Team Charm probably is the better player of the two. So, yeah.
You're going Team Charm too?
Yeah, I'm going. Oh, you're saying Team Charm too?
Yeah.
Of course. Let's go Team Charm all the way. SVP, we got Big Tony 2014 making his debut versus the Fish.
Oh, that's not someone you want to make your debut against.
You're throwing Big Tony into the Wolves here? MJ and Ziri, you really want to see the freaking Big Tony flounder against the Fish? Yeah.
So you know that expression where you're a big fish in a small pond? So Tony is the big fish in the small pond. He's just been taken out of the small pond and put against the biggest fish in the big pond.
Yeah, he's fighting a shark basically. He's fighting the blue whale. He's fighting the blue whale of the group. So yeah, Fish to win. Oh yeah, Fish to win. SVLC, we got Greedy versus Polo Ariosto.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a curious match. Both players haven't been doing the best. Although, and Polo has been adapting well to LC. Meanwhile, Greedy is greedy, but yet it is still greedy because he hasn't been the greedy that we've seen in past times. I think this should be Polo's game, especially after last week. I think Polo will win.
Oh, wow. I actually agree. I thought I was crazy for thinking so, though.
Don't worry, I can see Greedy winning if he plays well. Alright, next up, SVDOU, Panther versus SMB. Panther has been lucky in this DOU pool. But he's against SMB, so I think he'll luck will run out here. So yeah, SMB to win.
Yeah, let's see Panther's score right now.
He's 2-1,
Lost versus Aragon.
It's 2-1, I think.
Beat Oblivion Wing, beat Railgun. Yeah. Wow.
SMB is what? 2-0? 2-1 himself? Or 3-0? If he's 3-0, then that's a given.
I feel like SMB is 2-1.
Check it.
Wait, nope, I think he's 3-0. Let's see. One versus Inafable. One versus Loudwinner. One versus Akaru.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, he's 3-1. 3-0.
Yeah, back to form, SMB. Let's go. 4-0. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who needs to keep their undefeated streak going, Azik versus Sasha, our last game. Azik?
I mean, yeah, we don't bold against Azik in mono. You simply do not do that.
You don't bold against Azik in mono. You don't tug Superman's cave. You don't predict against it. You don't beat SMB and DOU, and you don't beat Azik in monotype. So yeah, Azik to win. All right, that is over. 3 hours later, we're done.
Hooray!
I will go eat now because I'm hungry.
I will eat too.
Thank you all for watching this long ass video. I'm surprised if you stayed in for the rest of the video here. That means you're a real trooper, and also you're crazy, especially if you're watching at the dead of night. So thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. As always, click that notification bell so you won't miss a video once it comes out. And next week we will cover week 4 recap in another long ass video. And week 5 predictions. Let's hope we can. Yeah, let's hope we can do these early. All right. Thank you all for watching. This has been McCoy signing out.
Adios.